me being Fez decides not to clarify if he's still hopping on later. I'm in bed at like 10:20, 10:30.
And they couldn't have scripted it better with like both teams needing the win.
I'm getting to the point where Tomlin's got to go, man.
The Chargers and Colts, I think both of them are going to fall out, actually.
I'm on the side of the fence that I think Texas should get in.
Ohio State's communications on only their sideline went down for an extended period of time. So there's a lot of stuff going on with that.
Good to see him playing well. Hopefully he carries that into this summer because we really, really need that.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the From the Stands podcast. We're back for episode number 87 of the pod here on this December 2nd on a Tuesday. Coming at you after another couple-week hiatus, little mini hiatus, I guess you could say, just because we were busy with Thanksgiving and all the stuff that comes with that, and a little miscommunication. Fez can get into it if he wants.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. But we'll get into a little Thanksgiving week with the fam. Fezzy boy, how was your Thanksgiving? What'd you do? Who came to town? Any festivities? Any cool stuff going on?
Yeah, it was great. Had my parents in town, my parents and younger brother. We had a lot of fun. Went golfing, set up the simulator a little bit. It was a good time. Obviously,
I saw your putt on Instagram.
So bad. Yeah, I made a little Instagram video just messing around, and yeah, let's just say I left a putt for bird really, really short. Anyways, never claimed to be a good golfer, just really enjoy it. But had a really, really good weekend with the fam. Yeah, before I get into my little miscommunication and me just being Fez, how was your Thanksgiving? Saw that you set up a sweet fire pit. Had some did you have some s'mores, some hot chocolate with the fam this past week?
Yeah, it was a great time. Joy's fam was in town. Parents came down, her sister, husband, and 3 kids stayed at our house. So pretty busy household the last week. But yeah, Thanksgiving day was incredible. It was great. Lots of good food. Yeah, set up the setup in the back. I've been working on a little fire pit for a long while now. Not long, I guess, a few weekends, but turned out pretty sweet. A lot of lights, and it's just good vibes back there. So and we enjoyed that a little bit. We went to the zoo on Friday, which I'd never been to the Greenville Zoo. So
how'd you like it?
Pretty nice little zoo. It was good. It's pretty small, obviously, but they have some exotic animals in there. Saw the biggest python I've ever seen in my life. That was wild. And then they have giraffes there.
Yeah,
like, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. So yeah, it was a good week. So.
Yeah, it's like a pretty extensive zoo for like a little mile walk. Like you walk through and you're just like, how is this zoo tucked back into this park in the middle of Greenville?
The amount of times I've driven right past it and not even known it's there is kind of like, I knew that we had a zoo, but I didn't know it was back there.
Right.
So it was kind of funny, but honestly, it was like the perfect size. Like for me, like a 26-year-old dude, like I'm not going to be like, yo, let's go spend 5 hours at a zoo. Like it was like the perfect amount of animals in my opinion. So can't complain.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I tell Taylor. I was like, this is like all the zoo I need. Like it's a nice quick little mile walk
in and out.
You get to see it, because like, I mean, you don't want to spend all day at the zoo as a 26-year-old. Like what are we doing? But yeah, glad you had a good Thanksgiving. Obviously we did not plan to miss last week, even though some might assume we did because it was the holiday. Yeah, we were planning to do a really, really late pod on Monday because that was the only time I had before my parents got into town. And obviously Sam was busy as well. So we planned a late pod, didn't know what time yet because that's kind of how we do this. We shoot from the hip. Sam texted me at 7:30, said, hey, you got time for a pod to like, I got to go at 9, but I can slip one in at 7:30. I was like, at this point I had already planned some stuff because I thought we were doing it late. I was like, man, sorry, I can't do it. Then me being Fez decides not to clarify if he's still hopping on later. I'm in bed at like 10:20, 10:30. Wake up to a text that he sent at like 10:40. He's like, I'm in. I'm like, Oh no. And he was like, he sent another text later at like 11:30 and was like, it's too late. I can't stay up any longer. I was like, I felt so bad because I was just like, this dude was waiting for me to hop on and I did not. So I apologize to Sam and also everybody listening that we did not get a pod because it was
Yeah. Well,
juicy
yeah,
sports
that's the
last
only
weekend.
reason I even mentioned that at the top was because like I feel like that was going to be a really good one because I was coming right off a Cowboys game that we'll mention in a little bit that turned out my way, so it was good.
Yeah, yeah. Like Sam said, we had a lot of juicy stuff happen, especially in the NFL. 2 weekends ago now, got all my timelines messed up, but we got that to look forward to. We're also going to take a look at this past weekend and look ahead because the playoff picture is wild. We're going to look at the playoff picture in college as well, dive into a little football over the pond action, and then we will get out of here in a timely manner, hopefully. So stay tuned for that.
The only couple games we'll touch on from Week 12, which was technically 2 weeks ago at this point, Chiefs Colts and Cowboys Eagles. They really were the two games that had the most relevance going into the Thanksgiving week, and really the biggest games of the whole, or the most interesting games, I guess, that as they turned out to be from Week 12. So first game we'll get into Chiefs Colts. Chiefs very much playing for their season at this point. Really playing for their season every game from here on out. They were down to the Colts in the fourth quarter by 11 points, I believe. Kind of dead to rights. Everybody was like, are we gonna, is this the end of the Chiefs, end of the dynasty? But they respond. Mahomes and company coming back in a big fourth quarter, scoring 11 points, pushing it to overtime, getting a big time stop and kicking 3 to get the dub on the day at home to push their record to 6-5. You picked the Colts in this one. I picked the Chiefs because the Chiefs are the Chiefs. And at least in this game, Chiefs were the Chiefs. What do you got to say about it?
I mean, I haven't been this upset about a result that I didn't really have a horse in the race in a very long time since the Patriots came back in that Super Bowl versus Atlanta being down by a lot. Like, I just never felt so deflated. Micah was actually in town for this game, so we got to watch it
Really?
in
Watched
horror.
it together.
We watched it in horror together, and Micah's not like
I'm sure he was so angry because he hates the
can be a
Chiefs more than
violent mad.
anybody.
Yeah, he can be like a violent mad, but like this one just like hit different to where like he was just quiet for like the rest of the day. We went out and I had the golf simulator set up in the garage, and so after the game we went out and he was hitting the ball pretty hard in the garage after that. So yeah, no, it was a frustrating game. Like, I mean, I guess props to the Chiefs, like they're never really out of it until the game's over. But I guess, how did you see it? I saw it more as a choke job by the Colts opposed
Yeah.
to the Chiefs actually winning it. That's just kind of my, like, their defense played really well. I think this was Jonathan Taylor was like a non-factor, had like
50
53
yards.
like 50
Yeah.
yards or something like that. Yeah, and just did not have a good day, which he is. I mean, Danny Dimes has been doing his thing, but like, I mean, their offense is Jonathan Taylor. But I guess I just wanted to see like how you saw it, like if you saw it the same way as I did.
Yeah, I felt like both teams, like especially in the second half, like neither one of them really seemed like they wanted to win. Like there were several times in the fourth quarter where they just kind of like punted the ball back and forth, like a couple 3-and-outs by both teams. But Indianapolis, I felt like they just, I don't know, like I feel like we talked about this off pod just a little bit, but like they're starting to hit a little bit of a slump here where they just can't get it going. Like Daniel Jones has not looked like the Daniel Jones we've seen like so far this season. So questions about if they peaked a little bit too early. Jonathan Taylor only 50 yards on the day, which is about 100 yards less than he has been running for. No touchdown, so he was a non-factor. That was a big I think a big reason that they were able to stay in the game. The Chiefs were, or at least keep it to within striking distance at least. Chiefs offense wasn't great, even though Mahomes passed for over 350 yards. Pretty impressive. No touchdowns for him, but I mean, when they really needed it, they were able to get that big gain to Rice late on. Xavier Worthy had a couple nice catches. Kelsey again was pretty big in clutch time as well, but just a couple times where like in the fourth quarter where you'd say, all right, the Chiefs are going to go down and like score, and like they wouldn't, and like eventually they did, obviously, and they got enough to at least push it to overtime. But yeah, just a game that I guess you could say that no team really wanted to win it at the end, and
Right.
the Chiefs, even though like we always say, like, Mahomes is going to get the ball and he's going to go down and do whatever. Even though he didn't do that on a couple of drives there late,
Yeah.
still eventually found a way to get it done. And obviously the big overtime,
Right.
the big overtime stop was pretty big. So yeah, they survived to fight another day.
When are people gonna learn not to give the Chiefs the ball second in OT? When are we gonna learn?
I couldn't believe they took the ball first.
Bro,
Like that was shades of the Niners in that Super Bowl a couple years ago, and they're like, yeah, we're taking the ball. That ended up they didn't really know the rules, but like, come on, people, like, why are we taking the ball first?
Dude, fate of
and then
the
it's just so easy after that because you get a stop like the Chiefs did. All you need is 3. Like, you move it 30 yards, you kick a field goal, and you're out of there. So
I mean, it just makes sense. Like everybody was saying, you want to go second because, like, you know what the other team did, and if you're down, you have 4 downs. Like, you're working with 4 downs. Like, I don't know. It just makes sense. Like, I thought maybe it was because, I mean, the Chiefs had just drove down the field. The Colts offense was off the field for a long time at the end of the game. Maybe they were just like, they've been sitting long. Maybe don't let them sit too long. I don't know, but it's just like, you just can't do that. You can't give the Chiefs 4 downs to drive down the field and win the game. Just can't do it.
Yeah. But yeah, good win by the Chiefs. Obviously, to keep their season alive. They've just kind of been sputting a little bit weird, just because we thought several weeks ago when they got Rashee Rice, but it's like, all right, now they're going to kick it into gear and rattle off 7-8 wins in a row. But they've just kind of been in neutral really for the whole season. So, other game we'll touch on in Week 12 is my Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles, baby. Just off the top, please tell me you watched this game.
I did. Of course I did.
Okay,
of course.
Yeah. Of course. You never miss any games.
I don't miss anything, Sam. It is well documented on this podcast that I watch basically every game every week in every sport, obviously. Tapped into hockey as well, rugby,
sorry
cricket.
I ever doubted you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
why would you?
This game, bro, I could go on for an hour about this game. Eagles.
I mean, as you should.
Eagles jump out to a huge 21-0 lead. For the first quarter of this game, I was actually at church for our Thanksgiving youth group thing. I was like helping with that and everything. So I was like score watching the first quarter. I was like 21-0, like, man, like we're like really like we're just gonna not even be competitive in this game. And then I started watching the second quarter, obviously, and we started coming back. But just some incredible plays in this one.
Yeah,
goes without saying, we come back 24 unanswered points, especially in the second half. Huge second half for my Cowboys there. Dak thrown for over 350 yards, couple tuds. George Pickens, 146 yards receiving, a touchdown. He is absolutely the revelation of the season so far for us. But I guess I'll just kind of throw it over to you before I give my 2 cents. What did you think about, I guess I'll get specific about some of the plays, especially in the fourth quarter. What did you think about that huge hit when on the punt return, like inside the 10? Like, we ended up not doing anything with that drive because we decided to go for it on fourth down. But bro, that got me out of my seat, bro. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, what a hit. I think I sent it to the group, and of course, no one freaking responded. But I was like, dude, what a hit.
What a hit, bro. What a hit. Dude, it was epic. All right, you're talking about the fumble, right?
Bro. Yeah.
Dude, that clip is incredible.
The dude fields it at the 5, and I'm already like, oh, great, we're going to get this down inside the 10 because he decides to take it out. And then he gets destroyed on the...
He just like Jackson Dart out there, just got absolutely manhandled, bro. No, that was epic, bro. And before I say anything, like, I just want everybody to know, like, I am over the Eagles at this point. Like, before, when the season started, I didn't really have a horse in the race, dude. At this point, I could care less. Like, if they lost every game from here on out, I would be happy. Like, I would be all right with that. I am anti-Eagle until they finally get rid of the tush push and they stop playing like they're an elite team. Their offense is not elite. You have 2 like on pace Hall of Fame wide receivers, and you can't even use them because your quarterback can't throw a freaking 15-yard pass down the middle of the field to save his
Literally,
life.
bro.
Anyways, that's something
Literally.
Sam usually says, but I'm just getting that on record. Dude, that play was
Glad to have you on
awesome.
board.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. Go Cowboys. Because my team sucks, so go Cowboys. Which we'll get into a little bit later. But anyways, dude, that was an incredible play. Like, it was all over Sports Center. Like, the guy literally got laid out like 2 times on his way to make
Yes,
that
bro.
play. And
Yes,
like,
bro.
dude, it was even though you guys didn't really get anything out of it, it was the turning point in the game. I felt like it was really like
Oh, yeah.
that momentum shift of like, okay, things are going to start going our way. Even though we didn't score on that play, like our offense is going to get going, and it got going. Dude, Pickens being your number one, it's wild, wild. And once CD figures it out, man, like if you guys sneak into the playoffs, man, I don't
Dude, no
know.
one wants to play us if we get in,
Absolutely
but
not.
still a lot of work to do there. But
Great
yeah,
play.
I mean,
Great play.
I love that you said that was like the momentum because like we were already starting to come back. I think by then it was 21-14, I want to say.
Yep.
Obviously no points off that one because we decided to go for it on 4th down. But I mean, that's where like everything shifted. The Eagles had no momentum. We had all the momentum, hustle plays, guys were getting after it. And I think it was the drive after that the Eagles had that Saquon fumbled the ball, which was like his first fumble of the year. So like, I mean, we were on cloud 9 at that point. Go down, get a touchdown. And then the huge, I think after our touchdown to tie, they had the ball, and then the massive 3rd down sack on Jalen Hurts, bro, coming right up the middle there. Like that's our defense, bro. Like we couldn't do anything 4 or 5 weeks ago, and now our defense is coming up with huge stops, forcing fumbles, special teams getting after it, and like you just mentioned with Hurts, and like not that there was some rough tape on him after the Cowboys game, like especially on that 3rd down. The one that he missed to the slant that he missed that was behind Devontae Smith, right? Literally every other receiver, like even the receiver that he threw to was open, but every other receiver was also open. And like it's just he has one read, bro, and he doesn't know what to do. Like yeah, we we made him look bad for sure.
Garbage can quarterback. Garbage can quarterback.
Yeah, so
I love him as a
we
person, to be honest, but like, dude, as a quarterback, we got to stop playing. Not really at all.
I liked him as a quarterback, but now like his press conferences just grind on me. Like he's always getting over there and being like he's just like reading from some psych book or something. I'm like, bro, just shut up, take your L, go home, like just whatever. And one more thing on Barkley too, we kept him to 22 yards on the ground.
Yeah, he's
off
not been
off
good.
10 carries. So obviously he's been struggling all year, but our defense is
huge.
it's just completely revitalized, and Brandon Aubrey hits that one at the buzzer. Unbeknownst to me, Joy actually has it on tape of me celebrating.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I get a little bit over the top, that's for sure. You'd think that we won the Super Bowl. That's what people online are probably going to say if they ever saw that video. But I was freaking amped because I mean, not just like does that keep us in the race to the playoffs, but like it's the hated Eagles. Like how much I hate them. You know how much the Cowboys hate the Eagles. So yeah, I was pretty hyped up about that.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb had a couple drops, but it is what it is. So
it is what it is. You guys win, and that's huge, like you just said, for your playoff hopes, which is a good segue into the 2 teams we just talked about, Chiefs and Cowboys, who played, again, timeline, this past weekend on Thanksgiving, which was a huge Thanksgiving Day was awesome, dude. Like for football, it was
incredible.
And we're gonna dive right into that, because if Thanksgiving wasn't good enough, we had like some years the football is like, what are these games? Like, why are we even? I remember at the beginning of the season, everyone was like, no one's gonna watch the Chiefs and Cowboys because everyone expected the Chiefs to be the Chiefs, and obviously, how the Cowboys were looking before and at the beginning of the season, everyone was like, that's going to be an awful game. Turns out this game meant a whole lot, especially for both teams' playoff hopes. And it did not disappoint, dude. It was a awesome game. But obviously, as the Cowboys fan, how'd you feel beating the Chiefs on Thanksgiving Day?
Yeah, I mean, I came in like I had no idea what was going to happen this game. I was like, honestly, like people I think maybe thought what you were saying like at the beginning of the year as far as like where the two teams would be at, like the Chiefs would probably like easily handle us. And I thought that probably up until like 2 or 3 weeks ago. But
Hmm.
as far as like a rating standpoint goes, like the NFL, I think we're hoping that this would be like the most watched regular season game of all time. And
Yeah.
they couldn't have scripted it better with like
Oh
both
my.
teams needing the win, coming off wins of their own into this game, both needing the game for their playoff hopes. But yeah, it was dude, that first pick, like on the
Oh
first drive by
yeah.
Dak, I was like, bro, please no. Like I thought they might have ran away with it at that point after that. But our defense
Mhm.
again, they held
Dude.
strong. They didn't let him get too much of a lead. They were playing pretty consistent. Again, a big day by Dak Prescott. I think if we're not 6-5, bro, he'd be right in there in the MVP hunt.
Mm.
Um, just with the numbers he's been putting up, and he's gotten to the stage in his career now where I feel like he sees the game so much differently now. Obviously, the weapons
Yeah.
are a huge help to what you have, but like just the player that he is completely different from even 2 or 3 years ago. So you love to see that. Still not able to get Javonte Williams going on the ground this game,
Mhm.
but thankfully CD, we had him back. He had over 100 yards on the day. Jake Ferguson, he's a little bit of an underrated tight end in my opinion. Like he's not
Mm.
going to be up there with the Kelseys and the top tight ends in the league like Kittle and those guys, but still an incredible asset for us. But yeah, just being able to sustain Kansas City, get a touchdown here, 3 points there. I think we had in the second
Yeah.
and third quarters, we had a couple field goals that kind of pushed the lead a little bit there. KC coming back in the fourth quarter, getting a couple tuds there, but a little bit too little, too late, and we were able to kind of hold on to it there at the end for a huge dub. And like this was a game, bro, where like obviously I'm a Cowboys fan and everything, but like I felt like I was glued to the TV like literally the whole game. Like there was
Mhm.
no lull, like there wasn't any like it was a good game, back and forth. And like Mahomes, like we always talk about the Chiefs and everything, but like he had an incredible game, four
Yeah.
touchdowns. Like that one scramble he had, bro, like when he was getting out of the pocket, like that
Yeah.
one kick step he had before he launched the ball like 40, 50 yards downfield. Like, how did he even know our guy was there to like try to get him?
Right.
It's just it's insane to me. And they probably
It
should have
is
scored
insane.
on that one, but if
Right.
Worthy turns the other way, he probably has a touchdown, but thankfully he didn't do that. But what'd you think of this game?
Dude, it was so much fun to watch. Again, obviously, I am a Steelers fan, so, like, I have loyalties to an NFL team, but I was rooting for the Cowboys the whole way, just like I was rooting for the Colts. Obviously, after the Chiefs beat the Colts, their chances to make the playoffs went up, but, like, this was still, like, a must-win game, and now after them losing sets up a must-win game against the Texans, who are trying to get into the playoffs as well. That's gonna be a great game because the Texans are looking good, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Love this game. Dude, your defense, I think we were talking about this off pod. Like, if you guys only made these moves, heck, like 2 weeks sooner, like,
Yeah.
we're talking about a different Cowboys team that might not even be like cutting it this close. Obviously, your chances of getting in the playoffs are like super, super slim. I don't even think you guys have to win out and also get help, right? Kind of that way,
I
or
mean, basically, it's a little soon to like know exactly our
what
our
happens?
scenario,
Yeah,
but I've been telling people I think the easiest way and the most realistic way we can get in at this point is
win
hoping
your
that the
division.
Eagles continue to
Mhm.
slide and we basically just win out. And I think if we beat the Lions this Thursday, I think we'll probably win the rest of our games, which
Yeah.
put us in a good position. So I like where we'll sit if we're at 11-5 or whatever. So we'll see.
Yeah,
But Chiefs just
yeah.
can't run the ball. Like I
No,
mean,
they
obviously our
can't.
defense is good. We have dog D tackles now, but like I don't think they've had a runner go for over 100 maybe all season, maybe one game, 2 games maybe, but
Yeah.
it's a rough look for them right now on the
Y
ground. But
yeah, I mean, that last game against the Colts, they ran literally Kareem Hunt 30 times and got, like, 103 yards. It was like he had 30 carries, and that was just him alone. That didn't even count the other runs from the other running backs. So,
right.
they definitely
Uh,
they're trying to get it going, but it's not good. It's not good
yeah,
at all.
right. And one last thing too, like about the Cowboys, like Pickens, he didn't quite have the game obviously he had against the Eagles, like almost 150 yards. Still had a really solid day, but like they could not stop the slants. Like
No,
everyone in the
no.
stadium knew we were gonna throw a slant to George Pickens on that last
Yeah.
third down, and they couldn't stop it. Like it was
No.
just insane. But the last thing I'll ask you about, and you may not have noticed it, maybe you did, but
Mhm.
a lot of people were talking about the refs in this game, and I actually said live because obviously my whole fam was there and everything, and
Yeah.
they're all Eagles fans and whatnot. But I was like, I've said at least twice, I was like, they keep giving us these bogus calls. Like, I'll take them, but
Yeah.
like these are ticky tack fouls here
Yeah.
going against the Chiefs. And I know a lot of people were talking online about, obviously how loud it was last year for the Chiefs. Now,
Mhm.
especially in this game, at least, maybe the NFL is like, all right, in front of the whole nation watching, we're going to show them that maybe the Chiefs don't get all the calls and maybe we're getting a little
Right.
bit more than we deserve. But did you feel like that was the case? Did you feel like a lot of those calls were anti-Chiefs and ticky-tack or what?
I mean, to be honest, yeah. Like there were a couple where I'm just like, man, these are calls that the Chiefs would usually get. Like,
Yeah.
and but me hating the Chiefs, I absolutely loved it. I was like, dude,
Right.
finally a taste of your own medicine. Like you can't just get away with everything. Like finally the flags go in the other direction.
Yeah.
So I was definitely here for it. I definitely thought some of the calls were soft, but I was just like, if it's against the Chiefs, a flag against the
You're
Chief is
here
always
for
a
it.
good flag. So but I
Fair
definitely
enough.
did notice that there was like, I want to say like in the second half, there was a point where it was like, it felt like a flag after a flag after a flag. But the thing was, and a lot of people were saying it, that's not what lost them the game. Like you guys won that game. And
Mhm.
so I think that's why it wasn't leading like media outlets the next morning or anything, because like it wasn't like, oh yeah, blown
Yeah.
calls costing the game. Like no, it was still a really good game, still very evenly officiated.
Yeah.
It just like
And
it was just wild because it was against the Chiefs.
yeah, and most of those calls weren't like ghost calls or whatever. It was just
Right,
more
there was
like
stuff.
it's just ticky tack or like soft calls. It's like, oh, I can see how that is, pass interference or whatever, but
Yeah,
also at the same time not. So
right.
alrighty, moving on to another Thanksgiving Day game here, the one that actually happened at noon. Packers Lions, little in
Dude,
division game here.
so
Lions
good.
always playing on Thanksgiving, as we know, but love when the Packers get to play
Oh,
them on Thanksgiving. It's even better. But
yeah,
Packers
it's
come away with the
huge.
dub on this one, 31-24. Jordan Love tossing the pill around, 4 tuds on the
Dude.
day. Josh Jacobs finally getting back into the fold after a couple weeks out, getting a huge win against
Bowling.
the Lions on the day.
Yeah, giant win, obviously in division. If they get that Jordan Love the rest of the season, they're winning the Super Bowl. Like that's what they need, dude. 4
That's the
tutties.
key.
Micah
But he's
Parsons
just
finishing
so
off the
up and
game.
down,
He is
man.
up and down, man. And you can't attribute it to him being young anymore. Like this is his
Right.
sixth season. It's like his sixth season in the league, like third starting, something like that. Or it's been longer than that now. How long has Rodgers been out of Lambeau? It's been four?
22
4 seasons?
2 with the Jets. 3. This is his third season out.
Okay, so it just feels longer, like a long
Yeah.
time ago since he left the Packers. But anywho, great game again. Lions a little bit like they're kind of in that red area of kind of in trouble. Got to win a couple
Definitely in
huge games
trouble.
coming up. Playing the Cowboys as we talked about, which this is what I love about this season. There is not an out and out amazing team that is just running away with it. Like, and we'll
Yep.
touch on it before we get out of this NFL segment, but the playoff picture has flipped, like absolutely flipped. And like we were talking about it like earlier, friggin' Bears and Patriots are like
Yeah,
one
those top
seeds right
seeds.
now. Like what is going on? But
Mhm.
no, I truly believe if the Packers get this Jordan Love the rest of the season, they'll make a very deep run. And Micah Parsons has been a huge addition. He's always coming up.
Yeah.
He might not have like the huge sack numbers, but his sacks are so timely at the end of the game to like ice the game and put him away. Like Jared Goff was seeing ghosts having him come at him, and he finally got home at the end of the game to kind of put the game away. I think I don't know. Do you think Campbell's going for it a little too often? I think he's
Yes.
costing him
That's
games.
exactly what I was gonna say. I mean, the amount of times he goes for it on fourth on the other side of the field when they could easily get 3 is costing
Yeah.
them games. Like, and usually like in the last 2 years, the Lions have been so good where like he can kind of do that and get away with it kind of thing. But then like we've seen it, I think 2 years in a row in the playoffs where he's messed with it a little bit too much, and it's ended up costing them in the playoffs for sure. I know that they were hurt last year, and that might have had something to do with their losses in the playoffs. But like he just tinkers so much, and like he goes for it on fourth down when he really shouldn't. There's,
Mhm.
there was I think it was in the fourth quarter where he went for it on fourth down, like at their 30. I was like, why? Just get the points, man. Get out of there. Live for another drive. Like you have an incredible defense. Just like lean on that. But
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
I mean he does it way, way too often. Like obviously that's your identity. That's what you win with. That's what you want to lose with as well. But like when it's costing you losses, I think that's a bad look. And it's just so easy. Like, just kick a field goal. It's not like you know, it's not obviously it's less points, but still points at the end of the day. And when these close
Right.
games, that's what's going to be kind of the make it or break it, or be the difference in these close games. So
Yeah, absolutely, and I also feel like they're dialing up way too many, like, trick plays, like, there was that one where it was, like,
yeah,
this end around toss back to Jared Goff, and he dropped it, and it's just, like, just too many risks, like, things are gonna go wrong way too many times if you're doing it more and more and more, and obviously,
yeah.
Campbell's taken over the offensive play calls, so, kind of his mentality is more in the offense now, which might be hurting him, but, like,
And
I
that
mean
Jamison Williams fourth down drop.
yeah,
Oh
oh,
my, that's
that
about as bad of a drop as you can have. There wasn't a
that
guy within 10 yards of him.
I mean, yeah, like, if he gets that turns up field, dude, like, I mean,
I know.
he's fast, like, he breaks away, that's a tutty,
Yeah.
dude.
He's so
Absolutely.
inconsistent though. As a
Yeah, he is.
fantasy owner, I know very well that he can be up and down. But
Yeah,
like you were
I
saying,
know that pain now too, because I picked him up after you dropped him or no, we
right.
traded I think we traded for him. You gave me something for
Yeah,
someone,
I'm not
but
sure. I know you
anyways.
have him now, but like you were saying, I think Jordan Love is the key to the Packers. Whenever he plays well, they win. I feel like
Oh, yeah.
whenever he doesn't, they usually lose or just struggle. So, yeah, he's definitely the key. And one last thing on Parsons, he's the first player I think in NFL history, I want to say, that has at least 12 sacks in his first 5 NFL seasons. So, like you said, not putting up like, crazy like numbers like maybe Myles Garrett is, but consistently just a very, very good season, which is what you'd expect from him. So,
Yeah, for sure.
Packers get a crucial win in division here against the Lions. The Lions are in trouble for
Yeah.
sure as they face my Cowboys this Thursday. Next game we'll touch on Bengals and Baltimore. This was the night game on Thursday. Not gonna lie, I didn't watch too much of this one. We were
Me either.
we were out doing s'mores and stuff like
Nice.
that, and I honestly didn't really care. I was like, it's a
Right.
Cowboys dub. Already watched Packers. I was like, I don't really care about this game. But Joey B, is he
The
back?
return. The return. 261 yards, 2 TDs. I would say he's back better than ever. Maybe not better than ever. Obviously, he has to kind of get back into it. Did not watch this game very much either. Kind of kept a look at it. The only reason I threw it in here is because when we get to the playoff picture at the end of the segment, this game might end up being a
Could be
huge one
huge.
because Steelers, Ravens, Bengals all have a chance to win the division still, even though obviously it looked like the Steelers were going to run away with it. Obviously not the case. Ravens get Lamar back, Joe Burrow back, so it's kind of anybody's division other than obviously Shador and the Browns. But
Yeah.
if Joey B plays like this and I don't dude, the division just is bad. Like the
Yeah.
Ravens don't look good, Steelers don't look good. Everyone's gonna beat the Browns. Like there's a world where the Bengals sneak in on
Yeah.
the after losing Joe Burrow. He was out for like what, 3 months?
Felt
Felt
like
like.
that. I mean, yeah, most of the season so far. So like probably like 12 weeks, something like that, 10, 12 weeks. Yeah, I mean, when he came back, I was kind of quite, I was like, dude, you're 4-8. Like, why are you even
Mm,
coming back? Like, obviously we know he loves ball and everything, but like, if you're actually hurt, like, why are you even going to risk, uh, excuse me, coming back? But then I looked at the division, exactly like you were saying, like, the Bengals have, I think, at least 3 in division games left, and
yeah.
obviously getting this dub against Baltimore puts them right in the thick of it. So they could, maybe even win out, lose a game, maybe one game that they could afford to lose with that bad division and still win that division and squeak into the playoffs. So,
Mhm.
um, that kind of made sense after you look at it from that point of view. But I also just wanted to get your opinion on Lamar here. Like, obviously he's dealt with some injuries this year, but like everyone loves to as like Josh Allen, obviously he's won an MVP now. He's had sky high expectations. Anytime he has like one bad game, like everybody wants to tear him down and say like, "Oh, this year MVP, like he's never going to be able to get it done." But like Lamar has multiple MVPs,
Mm-hmm.
known for choking in the playoffs, which Josh Allen is literally the opposite of that. When he has gotten eliminated,
Mm-hmm.
it's not because of him by any means. He's actually
Right.
gotten them to a couple AFC championship games. But like Lamar kind of known for choking the playoffs here. So I'm just like wondering, I know he's hurt this year and it's not completely fair, but like interception in this game against a Bengals defense, which is still not good, despite the fact that their offense is a lot better with Joey B now. Still a bad defense. Like
Yeah.
when are we gonna hold him to account?
I I mean, the time has come. Like they were one of the Super Bowl favorites this year, and like you said, obviously he's dealt with injury. He's playing now, and it's like totally flipped. Like at the beginning of the season, like they were scoring like 30 plus points a game, and their defense was giving up like 40. But now their
Mm.
defense has actually I can't say it's gotten better. It's not great, but like their offense is like absolutely like it's nothing. Like if Lamar can't run, their offense just it's nothing. And another running back that's kind of having a down season, obviously getting older, is Derrick Henry,
Mhm.
so that's not helping them at all. They don't really have an out and out number one wide receiver. They're kind of like
Yeah.
Green Bay, except
DeAndre
they're
Hopkins is over there, which is kind of
right.
random.
Yeah, he's older,
Yeah.
aging,
Zay
not really a number one
Flowers.
anymore. Zay
Yeah.
Flowers has always been a notorious number two. So yeah, I just feel
Andrews
like
is up there now too.
yeah, exactly. They're just getting old. Some are saying if they don't make the playoffs or, an early exit again, Harbaugh might be out. So like some questions
Whoa.
definitely
Interesting.
in the Ravens camp for sure. But yeah, that division is up for grabs with everybody
Yeah.
not playing well.
Yeah, it's divisions like that make me wonder about this playoff format, man. Like I always talk about it with the I think it's NFC South with like the Bucks and the Falcons and all
Yeah.
them. Every year, bro, it's 9-8 and they get to host a
Get
playoff game. Like, go
wild.
away, bro. Like, just
Wild.
that's so stupid to me.
Yeah.
And this division's getting to that point too. Even though they have, on paper good teams in there with like Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, but
Yeah.
yeah, records aren't great this year. But moving on to the Black Friday game, Bears Eagles. This one was still an exciting one for our house, just because obviously all the in-laws
The
and fam
Eagles.
was over here. Joy's sister's husband is a huge Eagles fan.
Oh boy.
So he was watching this pretty close. The
Tough
whole
day,
week was
bud.
funny because like obviously coming off Cowboys Eagles, I'm riding
Yeah.
high because I beat them head to head.
Yes, sir.
Cowboys win Thanksgiving, and then
Hey.
Eagles lose on Black Friday. So
Oh
we
no.
were living this week, boys.
Yes,
So
sir. Yes, sir.
but yeah, Bears get the dub in this one. This was kind of a big game for the Bears just because a lot of people were doubting them as far as their schedule so far. Can they beat one of the contenders? Can obviously not just contenders overall, but in conference.
Yeah.
Eagles are on a little bit of a skid here, but Bears come out really from the beginning, smacked them in the mouth. They were in the lead the whole game. Again, just kind of what we've been talking about week in, week out here with the Eagles not being able to get going on offense. Chicago doing just a really good job of what they've been doing all year, just kind of staying in the game. Ben
Yeah.
Johnson dialing up some great plays in clutch time. Caleb Williams performing in clutch time, which is really impressive. So a huge win to announce that they're for real here with the Bears. So
Yeah. Like I would have to pull it up, but I think they are leading the NFC right now. Is that what it
they
is?
are 1 seed. Yep.
One seed in the NFC, which is at just crazy. Like it's been so long. I can't say in my lifetime. Like I watched them go to a Super Bowl, lost to the Colts, but like I mean,
That was a while ago. Holy.
it's been a long time since like we talked about the Bears as like number one in the NFC going to the playoffs. Like
I
I'm
think
still like
2018 was the last time they were in the playoffs with Mitch Trubisky. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's so topsy turvy. Like just just so wild, and it did not look good at the beginning of the season. That's the big thing. Like they're finally hitting
Mhm.
their stride. Obviously, Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams is kind of starting to mesh a little bit. I wouldn't say it's totally working out. Caleb's still prone to like work off schedule, kind of do his own thing. They
Yep.
kind of found something working in the running game, which I think is like minimizing what
Yeah.
Caleb has to do
Two guys
until like
over 120 yards this game, so
I mean,
huge.
Swift and, what's the other one? Man
Manungai.
Manungai, yeah, I wasn't even gonna try to say that off rip, um, but yeah, just kinda wild to see that the Bears are doing well, and, I don't have anything against the Bears, obviously, so good for them, but,
Yeah,
not
I've
looking good for the Eagles.
Right. I've got a good buddy at work who's a Bears fan, and he obviously everything's pretty excited for him, but I was pretty upset when the Cowboys lost to them earlier in the year. I consider that to be a terrible loss, yada yada,
Yeah.
but obviously they ended up being good. But I'm definitely of the opinion now that Ben Johnson deserves some coach of the year consideration for sure. I mean, he's got to be. I mean, it's basically the same squad as last year. I mean, they
Mhm.
added what Colston Loveland, a tight end, but the main change over there is Ben Johnson. So the
Mhm.
fact that he's got those boys rolling and at the top of the NFC as it currently stands is huge. Obviously, they have big games here at the tail end of the season. The Packers twice, Niners and Lions are 4 of their last 5 games. So absolutely huge. They still have a lot more to prove. I think at this point they're going to make the playoffs. A lot of people before the Eagles game they're like, "Oh, Bears are going to lose all these games and fall out of the playoffs." But I think they've done enough to squeak in. I think um they may just need, they're playing the Browns once, so they'll probably win that game. So that'll probably get them to 10 wins. Even if they lose the rest of those games, it'll be enough to get in. So,
Right,
but
exactly.
incredibly impressive stuff from the Bears and just more stuff that we're seeing from the Eagles here. Just untimely interceptions from Jalen Hurts. Not being able to get going. AJ Brown had a big day, which was good for my fantasy, but ultimately not being able to score enough points to beat the Bears. So,
Right.
um, but yeah,
Tough.
kind of leave it there as far as the Eagles are concerned. Eagles are on a 2-game losing streak now. They got the Chargers coming up, which
Oh
should be a
boy.
winnable game, but
Should be.
yeah, we'll see if they continue to skid here. Um, One of the games that we'll touch on that came this week, Panthers Rams. A
Yeah.
lot of people are coming to this game, myself included, thinking Rams are just going to roll all over the Panthers. Obviously, the Panthers come in with a pretty good record, a lot better than a lot of people were giving them credit for this year. But still, some folks thinking that their record is actually a little bit better than their team was overall.
Yeah.
Actually, they played at home. I was going to say came into Los Angeles, but Los Angeles came to Carolina and got beat up on.
Yeah.
31-28 the final score, but Panthers were ahead really the whole game.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford having really his first bad game of the entire year.
Yeah.
Threw a
Not
couple
good.
picks, threw a couple touchdowns as well, but just a rough game from Stafford overall.
Mhm.
Puka Nakua not being able to get as many receptions, even though he had an insane catch on the day.
Dude,
I don't know if you
crazy
saw that
catch.
catch; that was wild. Devontae Adams a couple tuds, but yeah, just a rough day for the Rams overall. And
Was a rough day.
a lot of people thought that the Rams were going to take a stranglehold on that first seed in the NFC, but as we said, Bears are now
Not
at
to
the top of
be.
the NFC with the Rams. Same record, but this was a game they're definitely kicking themselves for giving up there against a Panthers team. Also, the Cowboys could have used a Panthers L in this one for sure.
Yeah, they definitely could have. Panthers are sitting there in the NFC South looking little spicy, might get a little
A
momentum
little
going.
frisky.
Little frisky. I mean, they're only I think they're like a game back in the division of Tampa right now.
Yep, yep.
Which Tampa is pretty beatable with all
Yeah,
the
they're
injuries
seven
that
and
they have
five
going
as per
on.
usual. So
Per use. Yeah, again, I don't have a whole lot to say about it. I figured we'd just throw it in because it was probably one of the biggest upsets of the season so far. Obviously, the Rams have been an absolute wagon, but again, I mean, the Rams got to figure out how to play in cold weather, I guess. I mean, lost to lost to the Eagles last season, and then like obviously they come North Carolina on a
it was
cold,
probably like
wintry day.
48 degrees.
They couldn't
But
hang,
yeah,
bro. They couldn't hang.
yeah,
They're used to playing in SoFi or
80.
whatever all the
Yeah,
time.
you're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
they're not ready for all those, West Coast boys, they couldn't hang with,
Yeah.
how cold it was
Yeah.
here, but
It was kind of an inexplicable why they kind of fell apart there. Obviously, the interceptions by Stafford wasn't great, but you know you can't blame him too
yeah,
much when he's that's his
no.
first interception since like what week 3 or something crazy.
Yeah, still on an
Um,
MVP pace for sure.
oh, I mean, I would give it to him right now if
Same.
its season
Me
ended
too.
today.
Me too.
So what he's been doing is incredible. I still think that they're probably gonna get the NFC. They have the best team in the NFC in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah.
They've got Cards coming up. Lions are on a skid. Um, they actually have the Cards twice and the Falcons as well. So all of those are
Oh,
you
yeah,
expect
yeah,
the Rams to win all those games.
yeah.
Panthers, you made an interesting point about the division. They still play the Bucks twice,
Mhm.
so it's definitely still
Who
open
knows?
there. Panthers in the playoffs would be wild just because I
That
feel
would
like
be
they've been a
wild.
bottom feeder for basically since Cam Newton left. So we'll see what they're able to put together. But
Yeah,
last game we'll touch on from this past week, Bills
do we have to?
Steelers, baby, on
Oh,
Sunday night. Or not Sunday night,
stick
ended
this in
Sunday
my
night,
eye.
but uh,
Uh,
I was excited for this game, man. Like
I was
there's
too.
not many games where I don't have a horse in there. I just want to see good football.
Uh,
Bills love
didn't
Josh
see it.
Allen, love the franchise. Steelers, I like watching the Steelers because they're just one of those OG franchises. Been there since the beginning. You know, one of those historic
OG for
franchises. So
sure.
I was settling. This is great. I guess I'll just throw it over to you though
Yeah.
for the opinions of how this game went. 26-7, not really close. Rodgers came in
No.
questionable, started the game. Probably shouldn't have started the game. Couple fumbles. Not looking great on that hand that he has several fractures in apparently. Mason Rudolph comes to the game, throws a pick. So not a
Yeah,
great day for
literally.
your Steelers, who are now looking in just big jeopardy to miss the playoffs altogether.
Yeah, currently looking from the outside in. We were leading our division for most of the season. Riding high, looking pretty, we were winning some games that like some people didn't have us winning. Obviously, we beat the Colts, which was a huge game for us. Yeah, it's not looking good. Rodgers has like several fractures in his left hand. Tried to play through this, took a hit, had to go out for a little bit. Rudolph comes in, throws a pick. Saw that. They were like, Rodgers, you're going back in. I don't care if your arm's falling off. We ain't playing Rudolph. It's gotten so bad with Rodgers being injured and Rudolph playing terrible. I saw reports that they might be gearing up Will Howard to try to save our season. I'm just like, this is what it's come to. This is what
Save your season. Yikes.
but yeah, I guess this is a good time to talk about if we don't make the playoffs or like exit early and don't win a playoff game for I think it's like the 7th or 8th year in a row. Um Tomlin's I'm getting to the point where Tomlin's got to go, man. Like
What?
we just
Blasphemy.
dude, we can't keep being all right.
Six
I'm
and
done with
six.
being all right. Like, it's the most frustrating thing. Like, sure, yeah, like, you know, we're above 500 for the past like 20 years. Who gives a crap? What do we got to show for it? One Super Bowl and like no playoff wins since Big Ben left, even before that.
2016,
Oh
bro.
my gosh, dude,
I
I'm
was in
still in
high school, my guy.
still in freaking high school. That's what I'm saying. But it's getting to the point where like something's got to give, something's got to change. Like we can't even tank a season. Like at least if we get Tomlin out, we don't have to worry about like tanking and ruining his precious record of being above 500 every season. Like I don't know. It was just
Yeah.
frustrating. I don't know what we're gonna do at quarterback. Obviously, Rodgers re-aggravated. Like he's playing through fractures. Like he has a freaking cast on his hand. Like, it's just awful. I'm over it. But
Yeah.
that's kind of my spiel. It is what it is. Division's
Yeah. I
still there
mean,
though.
yeah, divisions probably will be there until the very end. If you guys can squeak out a couple dubs, you've lost 5 of the last 7 after your 4-1 start, which is not a great. I just can't believe how bad the defense looks. Most expensive defense in football. Just
Awful.
looks absolutely pitiful. You guys set a record for most rushing yards allowed in your stadium all time to the Bills, so that's not a great look. Like you said,
Yeah, that was
division is
bad.
still there. But like again, you're just gonna have another 500 season, and in an AFC, which is gonna be pretty competitive here down the stretch. If you don't win the division, I think there's a pretty good chance you get left out of the dance, even if you do have a 500 season. So,
Yeah.
not looking great at the Steelers. Obviously, I came into the season with more belief than the average person would have in Rodgers. But I don't know, man. Like he just looks more and more old as the season goes on. Like every time you hit him, you're just hoping that he gets back up.
Mhm.
Obviously he's got a couple fractures now. He's frustrated with his wide receivers. In his press conference. He's saying that people need to show up to meetings and run the right routes and all that stuff. So, I think it's a little bit sad too, because like there's kind of a new generation of NFL fans the last like 4, 5, 6 years who like generally don't know like what like Hall of Fame Rodgers looks like. And
Yeah.
everybody's talking about like how he's going to go to the Hall of Fame. A lot of people are discrediting like his career and what he's done, and just because of the stuff that he's put on tape the last like few years, which like him personally, still don't think it's all his fault. But just the teams that he's been on the last couple years, it's just been super super ugly. And again, like
Mhm.
it's just he's kind of sputtering out here at the end, which is a little bit sad. But again, I don't know if it's more the team. Like I don't know if DK Metcalf's not the right fit. It can't all be him, but it's definitely a little bit him as well. So
Yeah.
again, that defense though, come on, man. Like what? You got
Yeah.
names at every position, but goodness.
We got names, and also it's just like the one stat that is gonna kill me about this season is we are the highest paid defense in the entire NFL,
Yeah.
like way above the next team that's paying like the amount they're paying their defense. It should not be this bad. And then we just paid TJ Watt all that money. And I'm not saying he's been like awful, like non-existent, but like like TJ Watt, you're
He's got
better than
7
this.
sacks on the year.
You're better than this. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Uh,
don't know.
one thing
Awful.
that who was doing your game on Sunday? One of the announcers, whatever, was saying that one of the reasons that he thinks that the defense is so bad is because they're expensive and their names, but they're all old now.
They're
Like
all old.
Cam Hayward's
No speed.
36, Jalen Ramsey's 31 or 32, TJ
Yeah.
Watt, even though he still can be incredible, he's 31, I want to say. So, definitely on the wrong side of 30 and on the decline.
Definitely.
So,
For sure.
yeah, we'll see what the
Yeah.
Steelers are able to muster up here. Um, tied for the division lead right now with the Ravens. But how do you
Yeah.
squander 4-1 beginning of the season? You were at 4 games.
Yeah.
Goodness
Yeah.
gracious.
And we
But
were just dropping like I mean, huge game this weekend, which is probably a good segue into I think we could probably wrap up these games and the playoff scenarios. Like we could put that all into one because like the
yeah,
games we have highlighted have huge playoff
huge
implications.
playoff
So we can
implications. Yeah.
start with the Steelers and Ravens. We'll kind of just touch on that
Yep.
division. Huge game coming up. Obviously, we must win for kind of either team at this point, really buying for that lock to win the division. Dude, like we dropped that stupid game against Cincinnati
The
where
Bengals.
where Flacco literally threw for like 350 plus yards on us. Like
Mm-hmm.
just oh my gosh, came out of freaking nowhere. And I mean we beat them I literally like 2 weeks later, but like to get that game would have
Yeah.
been huge. But
Yep.
yeah, really in jeopardy if we don't win. If we don't win this weekend, it's looking really bad because I mean Ravens will have the head to head currently. Obviously, we play them one other time. I think it's literally the last game of the season, which that could come down to being like, whoever wins is in or out type of deal. So we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, not looking good for
So
my
who you got?
Steelers.
We got to do picks for these real quick.
Picks for like the
Steelers,
games.
Ravens. Yeah, Steelers,
Steelers
Ravens. Then we'll talk
Ravens.
about the other ones.
Steelers Ravens, their offense is not looking good, which kind of like
Gives you
kind
hope.
of gives me hope. Their defense is better, which I think it's gonna be super even because our offense is crap. Their defense is like not like world stopping. Their offense is crap, and our defense is obviously our defense. It depends on who we roll out. If we're rolling out Rudolph or Will Howard, Dunzo. If we
Yeah.
roll out Aaron Rodgers and he can still sling it, maybe. But if I'm picking fair, I would have to say the Ravens beat us. We just don't look good at all. We just
Yeah,
don't.
I would agree. I'm not impressed with the Ravens at all, but I'm even less impressed with the Steelers. I just can't see where the hope comes from for the Steelers right now.
Nah.
Rodgers is all kinds of beat up. He's got fractures. He's fumbling the ball. no one else on offense even gives you a spark. Like Caleb Johnson isn't doing it. Jalen Warren's not doing it.
Yeah.
And we just talked about your defense. So like I'm just not seeing it for them. I think the
Nope.
Ravens, I don't think they're great either, but I think they'll get enough to push them over the edge, playing with a little bit more motivation now that you guys have blown that big lead in the division. So
Yeah.
I think that they'll be playing a little bit more inspired than you boys coming off their loss to the Bengals on
Yep.
Thanksgiving Day. So I got the Ravens in
Absolutely.
that one. Cowboys Lions on Thursday night. Cowboys, we've beaten both the Super Bowl contenders of this past year in back-to-back weeks, so we're coming off a high, obviously, as we just spoke about.
Ayo.
Who you got in this one? Detroit on a little bit of a skid here.
I'm gonna go Cowboys, dude. I think
Heck
you
yeah.
guys, your offense can beat anybody. It's if your
Mhm.
defense shows up. I've seen enough
Which
to
we have been
know that
doing.
you guys are gonna put out a decent defense, and I think the Lions are kind of reeling right now, especially with, I think they're shooting themselves in the foot a little too much. But give me the Cowboys,
Yeah,
keeping your hopes
same.
alive.
Yeah, we're the hottest team in the NFL at the moment. Just everything firing on all cylinders. Lions are still dangerous. Their offense can still turn it on. I think Dan Campbell, ever since he's taken over the play calling, though, it's been a little bit iffy.
Hmm.
They've kind of been going back and forth between wins and losses since like week 3 or 4. I want to say it's been win one, lose one, win one, lose one. They lost last week, so they're going to be trying to get back in the win column once again. But I think our defense is just good enough to where they get the stops that we need, and our offense is obviously playing at a playoff level already, so which we're going to need. And I think if we win this one, we'll more than likely win the rest of our games, hopefully. So I
Hmm.
got my Cowboys in this one as well. Chiefs Texans, who you got in this one?
Ooh.
Chiefs
Give
Chiefs basically need to kind of run the table here. So
Yeah, they do. Give me. I'm gonna go. I'm actually gonna go Texans. Their defense looks really,
after what
really
happened
good.
to the Colts when you picked the Colts.
I know, but I think the Texans are actually playing really, really well right now. The
They
biggest
are.
what if is what you're gonna get out of Stroud, Nico Collins, and their offense. I trust their
Yep.
defense to slow the Chiefs down. If they can put some plays together, some explosives with Nico Collins, I think they get the win. I don't know. The Chiefs, like, you don't bet against the Chiefs, but the Chiefs, like, you keep waiting for them to take, like, all right, this is when they hit their stride, this is when they hit their stride, and they never
Hmm.
do. And they fumbled some games that they really needed at the beginning of the season,
For
and
sure.
it's come back to bite them. So give me the Texans. I'm gonna go Texans.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot. The Texans defense is playing out of their minds right now.
Really,
What they've
really
got going
good.
over there on defense is really, really impressive. Chiefs really need this for the standings. They're sitting at 7-5, right ahead of them in the playoff race. But I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
Yeah,
I mean, I did it
not a
last
bad
time when I
pick.
was like, I don't really believe in the Chiefs in this game, but I'm gonna pick them anyway, and it kind of it paid off for me. So
Yeah,
I think despite the fact that the Texans have an otherworldly defense, I still have questions about their offense. They're quite a bit quite inconsistent at times. And I
hmm
think the Chiefs will get it going. Like I mean, they didn't play bad against us. We were just better.
yeah,
So I don't think it was a matter of that necessarily. So at Chiefs Sunday Night Football, give me the Chiefs.
yeah.
But I do have a lot of questions about the Chiefs. Like I've been on here,
Lots.
obviously Chiefs are Chiefs, despite their record, but I have a lot of questions about the Chiefs, and it'd be wild if they didn't make the playoffs. But I do have them in this game. But moving on to a little bit of playoff scenarios here, we're going to take a look at the AFC and the NFC, see what needs to happen, see who we got going in, who we got topping both conferences, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to start in the NFC. Top seven as
NFC.
it stands: Bears, Rams, Eagles, Bucks, Seahawks, Packers, and Niners. And the teams in the hunt are the Lions, Cowboys, and Panthers. What do you think about this playoff race? Who do you think gets the top seed? Got a couple spicy division races in there as well. And ultimately, you think any of those teams in the hunt can scoot up far enough to sneak into the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of talking about it already. I don't think the Bears hold on to the top spot. I think like the Rams. That's
Yeah.
the thing I was gonna say earlier. The Rams after a loss, they kind of recalibrate and really like they figure it out after that. So I don't think the Bears will hold on to it. Don't believe in the Eagles taking it. Maybe the Seahawks if they. I just think the Rams are the best team. I think the Bears are just riding high from, putting together. Obviously, what is it? They've won like 8 in a row or something like that. Like they've been on a run.
The Seahawks you're talking about?
Bears, sorry.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, something like that. Something crazy.
yeah, they're
Let me check.
on a little bit of
Yeah,
a heater right
five
now.
game win streak.
But I think the
Five
absolute
game
best
win
team.
streak, and then 6, 7,
Oh,
8, 9 of the last 10. So
hey.
that's a pretty. Only loss was to the Ravens.
I mean, I
That
just trust
span.
the Rams coach and quarterback way more. So
Yeah, solid.
give me the Rams. Give me your pick. I'm trying to find a good oh, there's the playoff bubble. All right. But yeah, give me your picks.
I'm
Do you think the Bears hold on to it?
No, I think the Bears will make the playoffs, but I think they've got, like we said earlier, just their schedule down the stretch is going to be too hard. Like I think they'll probably steal 1 or 2 of those games, but also think they're going to lose a couple as well, which will knock them off that top seed. I think the Rams will get it. The Rams are just they've had one of the hardest schedules. Their strength of schedule, if you guys keep up with any of that advanced stat stuff, is .551, which means
Mm.
basically most of the teams that they've played are above 500. So they've been playing really good teams. They've been beating good teams. Their division, they have 3 teams that are at 9 wins. So incredibly impressive stuff by them. I think they get the 1 seed in there. And then as far as like in the hunt, I think the Packers will likely make. I think the Seahawks make. I think the Niners are right on that bubble, even though they already have 9 wins, which is wild.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Cowboys will sneak in over the Lions there, but I also think that the Eagles will continue to slide down. I think that's actually our best,
That you're
easiest
in.
way for us to get into the playoffs. Honestly, like it's going to be hard to track down. Like those teams that aren't even, they're just like wild card teams, already have 8 and 9 wins, which is wild. So we're
Yeah.
really banking on the Eagles, kind of fumbling here at the end and us running the table to again make sure that the curse stays intact. NFC East, no repeat champions since 2003 or something crazy. So who do you
Yeah.
got coming in here in the hunt, sneaking in
In
here?
in the hunt. I mean, the likeliest I see is like I mean, the obviously the Lions have the better percentage chance. Obviously, they have the clearer path. But this could be. I think it was the Eagles 2 years ago that absolutely imploded after having
Mm.
a really really good season. I mean, they were 8-2, and imagine they just like lose the rest, not all of their games, but like they drop out of contention because they go on this crazy
Yeah.
losing streak. I think
What
the
about the
Cowboys really could run the
Panthers Bucks conundrum? Sorry to interrupt.
no, you're fine. I think the Cowboys really could run the table. Panthers,
Yeah.
Bucks. I don't know. Panthers are
I mean, they're in a dead heat right now.
they're inconsistent. I think the Tampa Bay has been obviously the better team the rest of the season. If they get healthy, I think Tampa holds on to it. But
Yeah.
I mean, just make sure you don't lose it, Tampa. That's all. Like we were talking. That's literally the division where it's just like, dude, one of these teams just has to win the division and get in. Not saying they're going to win a
Yeah.
playoff game, but to make the playoffs, especially as the Panthers as they are, like crazy.
Yeah, I think the Panthers are playing super motivated. They play the Bucks twice in the home stretch here. Bucks are
Yeah.
still banged up. Like you said, if they get a couple guys back, they might be dinged. They got Godwin back a couple weeks ago. That's been big,
Yeah.
but
That's
they're
huge.
just, I don't know, they're too beat up. I think the Panthers might sneak in there and slide into that top
Is Bucky coming
spot in the
back soon?
division. I think he's supposed to this week, but I'm
Yeah,
not
that'd
sure.
be
Don't quote me
huge.
on that, but that'd be a
Gotcha.
big addition for them. But moving over
Freaking
to the
AFC.
AFC, which is even more loaded somehow than the NFC as far as
What am I
just the
looking at?
craziness that's going on here. So we got
Yeah.
Pats, Broncos, Jags right now. Ravens topping their division. And
Yeah.
then wild card, we got Chargers, Colts, and Bills as it stands. In the hunt, we got Texans, Steelers, and Chiefs all hanging around.
Crazy. Oh man. Honestly, I could see the Patriots holding on to that top spot.
Oh, yeah. I have them nailed in there for sure.
Like the only teams that really like you think could like take it over are way too far down. Like the Bills are in 7th, holding on to that last playoff spot. Chargers are
Yep.
not having a good end of the season. Ravens aren't looking good. Obviously
Yeah.
the Jags
They
just
could win those. I mean, lose those next 2 games though. Bills and Ravens. Those could be,
they could. They
frisky,
could.
frisky games. But
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
not. I'm on the same wavelength as you. I think that they hold on to that first seed.
Yeah, looking in, I would love to see the Steelers somehow find a way. I mean, that division is wide open. Again, we were talking Texans kind of a must win over the Chiefs this season. I think if the Texans beat the Chiefs, I think they find a way in. I don't know who's
Mm-hmm.
going to fall out of contention, but I could see a world where the Texans beating the Chiefs propels them to
Yeah.
get into the playoffs. Unfortunately, I think the
Inter-
Steelers aren't going to make it. Their only path is
yeah.
division. That's the only way.
I mean, Steelers have super accessible path. I just don't believe them in them as a
No,
team right now.
unfortunately not.
I think the Chargers and Colts, I think both of them are going to fall out, actually.
Really?
I think the Colts peaked at the wrong time. I think Danny Dimes is seeing ghosts just like he did in New York.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor is somehow not the same Jonathan Taylor we're seeing in the first half, whether that be him, whether that be his O-line, not really sure. I think they fall out. I think the Chargers fall out as well. Super inconsistent stuff from the Chargers. They're beat up on the offensive line. They've been logging some good wins though recently. Obviously, they beat the Steelers a few weeks ago. They got destroyed by the Jags, and I think they beat the Raiders, which obviously isn't that impressive. But kind of staying in the hunt there. But I think both of them fall out, and I think the Texans come in there, and I think Steelers again. I don't believe in them. The Chiefs are going to make it interesting. I think this Texans game, bro, is huge for them.
Yeah.
If Chiefs lose that, I think it's going to be almost impossible for them to get in, just based on who's ahead of them. Even though they still play the Chargers, but I think the Texans are going to slide into a wild card spot. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think who I would put in there for if I have Chargers and Colts dropping out. Texans will
Yeah.
get in there. Bills, I think, are going to scoot up because they're sitting at a 7 seed right now.
Yep.
And then I guess if I'm taking both of them out, I got the Chiefs scooting in there as the last seed, I guess.
Interesting.
But again, the Chargers are so iffy. I think the Colts will be out for sure, whether it be for the Texans or for another team. But I just think that they
Really?
peaked at the wrong time, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what I got.
I mean that's it makes sense. Like, yeah, I feel like the top of divisions, obviously, they're the top of divisions. Jags out of nowhere, kind of. I thought like they
A
started the
little bit.
season hot, had a really bad like kind of mid season, and then kind of coming into
Yeah.
form. So
Trevor Lawrence playing well though. Kind of, I was talking about that at the beginning of the year. I think this was the season that, he kind of came into his own. Had to, yeah, exactly. And he's played well overall. He's again a little bit inconsistent, but and their schedule's been a little bit more favorable. But impressive stuff from them. And what do we think about the Pats all the way up there, number 1, 11 wins?
Get him out of here. I hate it so much. I hate it, man. They had like 3 years of like being awful. Now it's like, oh my gosh. In our rebuild year, we're 1 in the AFC, and
Yeah.
our
Speaking of
freaking
strength of
second-year
schedule, though,
oh my
I
gosh,
mean,
yeah.
goodness gracious, that's driving me
But
nuts, bro. When I see their schedules, like, give me that for the Cowboys, bro. We'd be sitting at 12 wins.
the thing is they're freaking manhandling their schedule, which is like, if you're the better team, that's what you got to do. Like, if they were playing these close games against their schedule, I'd be like, okay, this is a little bit of like flash in the pan, but like, they're like just beating the brains in on some of the competition they're playing. Quite literally, obviously destroying Jackson Dart the other night. That was a funny clip to see.
That was on Jackson Dart. That wasn't.
That was absolutely on Jackson Dart. It was so funny.
Get out of bounds.
Just can't.
It's just insane to
me.
me the run like the Pats have had this season with like the opponents that they played. Like last like few opponents: Giants, Bengals, Jets, Browns, Titans, Saints. Like it's all like the very bottom of the NFL. But
that's why I think they'll keep the number
Bills
1
this
spot.
week though. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they do have Bills Ravens coming up, but then they have Jets Dolphins, which you expect them to win both of those. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting because like I don't know if you remember last year, like I feel like this is gearing up a lot similar to like the Vikings last year. Remember how like they won like 14 games and like halfway through the season, I was like, they're not playing anybody. Like, wait till they play somebody in the
Yeah.
playoffs. And so I'm just really curious to see if we're going to have a repeat of that, where just like they win a ton of games in the regular season against crap teams and then fall apart in the first round, or if we have like a real Dynasty 2.0 on the horizon here, unfortunately. But we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, their freaking second-year quarterback's about to win. I wouldn't say about to, but like in the
At,
MVP conversation.
at least so far,
Wouldn't
like
beat
obviously
us.
I hated the first, the dynasty with Tom Brady. I hated them like more than anything. I don't hate this team, at least not yet. Like I like
Not
Drake
yet.
May. I like Will Campbell. I wanted Travion Henderson on the Cowboys. Like I like all those guys. So I like Mike Vrabel. So we'll see.
Yeah.
How long it takes for me to dislike this team. But
hey, the old Patriots weren't hateable at the beginning until they started winning too. So
that's right. That's right.
I mean,
we'll see.
You know, if you what's the saying? Live long enough to see yourself become the villain or something like that.
Yeah.
Wait
Everybody
for
loved the Chiefs in the first couple of years when they were beating up on people.
Exactly.
So.
No one likes when people win a lot. No one likes it. Unfortunately, our teams don't have that problem at the moment. But did you still want to do fantasy? Or we're running long,
Up to
aren't
you.
we?
I mean, we're running super long, but we can if
Just
you want. We're gonna be in the playoffs here soon.
yeah, let's run some fantasy really quick because
we'll do it quick.
I just missed the playoffs in 2 of my leagues, so I'm pretty bummed about that. So yeah,
and I'm pulling it up now. I know our boys league. I took a hefty shellacking from Micah, who's freaking 4-8 and going to be in the consolation bracket here. But he put up 172 points on me. Took a fat L on that one.
Dang.
And I kind of needed that because I wanted one of the first 2 seeds to get that bye. So I'm sitting in third right now, behind Little T and Micah or Nathan. So that's kind of my my update here. But we also have Herb in fourth, you in fifth, clinching a playoff spot. So that's solid.
Let's go.
Bran, last playoff spot there, number 6, and not making the playoffs. Micah, dude, I texted Micah this last week. I was like, when he was beating me, I was like, bro, if you were in the playoffs, you'd be like in the championship. Like his team is disgusting right now, but somehow he has like a 5-8 record, and he's not gonna make it. And then PD's not making it, and Jamie's sitting at 1-12 at the bottom.
Yeah, Jamie did not have a good outing for sure. But yeah, I was happy to make the playoffs in this one. Actually, I clinched them in the Calvary one and this one.
Yep.
But the other 2 that were actually for money, I totally whiffed on the playoffs. So that's just how that goes, apparently. But yeah, having
my
a good
other
season.
2, my work league, which was for a little bit of money too. Like I'm not gonna make playoffs there.
Tough.
Just super tough. Like I'm 5-7, just squeaked out. And then the youth group league that I'm in for like a shirt, there's like an official jersey that they're gonna buy for the winner, which is kind of lit.
Yeah.
Squeaked into the playoffs there. So like 10 teams made it. I'm the 9th seed. So I needed a dub on the final day, which was this past week, and I got the dub. So we're going to the playoffs. But
yeah,
we'll see if I have a shot at that.
I haven't been doing fantasy like super long. It's only been like 3-ish years I've been doing it.
I mean, that's pretty. You're experienced at this point.
I'm experienced, but what it's a caveat to what I'm going to say. In that one league that I just missed the playoffs on, obviously we had less teams than in the other leagues. So the end of the season was this past weekend, which I didn't know. And so I was just like, oh yeah, I have one more week to try to get in. Nope. Realized that I needed Drake May to go off for like 30 points just to make it. Almost got.
Oh no.
Obviously they were slacking the Giants, so obviously they were just handing the ball off. So but he was climbing. I missed it by like 10 points, which is still quite a gap, but I was like, dude, there was a chance near the end, but unfortunately did not make it in. But Lamar Jackson absolutely wetting the bed for me the past 3 weeks. So I think he's I don't even have his. I think it was literally like like he had like 4. Like this is coming back from injury, like 4 points, 5 points in this past week, 6 points. So trending.
Wow,
Whoa,
that's rough.
It has been bad, and then my running back room has been atrocious. I mean,
Where are
I'm
all his
starting.
rushing touchdowns, dude?
I mean, he's been hurt, bro. He went from like hamstring, knee to ankle to like toe injuries. So not good. Not good.
Not
My
good at
running
all.
back room is bad. I'm literally starting Judkins and Warren. That's who I got.
That's rough.
Because Dobbins went on IR a couple weeks ago, and yeah, I didn't start the season with good running backs anyways. So wide receiver
Well, we'll
room
see what
looks
happens in the
sweet.
boys' league. That's going to be an exciting playoff run, I think.
That is
Herbie sliding in at the 5th seed. I usually see him at the very, very top.
Peter missing out on the playoffs. Like,
I know, bro.
I feel like he was setting it up too. He's been like dogging this league the whole time.
I know. It's because he was bad from the beginning. So he's like, I don't even care about fantasy. I wasn't even going to play.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like,
he knew he was going to miss
If you were at the
playoffs, so he's
top of the league, you'd be like, fantasy's the best thing ever. I'm an expert. Y'all can blah, blah, blah.
We love you, Petey. But anyways, yeah, not too shabby this year. Not too shabby for the podcast. Obviously, it's fun to talk a little fantasy.
Let's hope we
Got
meet in the
playoffs.
championship.
Yeah. How's it work? Like, so we have one more week in the boys. When do playoffs start? Is it 2 weeks from now?
The week after.
The week after. Interesting.
Yeah, because you got to make it to the championships like week 17 or something, so you don't got people sitting on week 18.
Right.
So
yeah, that makes
sense.
sense.
Remember
Obviously,
that happened the first year we did it, and it screwed everybody over.
Yep,
I do
remember that. I do remember that. Obviously, I don't know that because this is my first time in the playoffs. So, yee, bud, making a magical run.
I need to keep my dynasty going because I've only ever made the championship in our league. So,
oh my gosh, we got to start a segment next year. Like, you gotta give us fantasy insights next season. You're low-key actually like really good at it.
Well,
not even lying.
I gear up well for like making my team like towards the packs. Remember, what was it? It was either last year or the year before that. I literally got in at like 6 and 8 or something stupid, and like I ended up winning the championship, and everybody was mad at me because I got in with a negative record.
Yeah, it also helps to have like 4 running backs that are in the top 20 in fantasy. You freaking loser! Holy crap!
This year I drafted really well.
Yeah, you have Cook, Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift, and Javonte Williams. Like,
yeah,
what are we doing?
And I have Puka.
Yeah. Other than running backs, my wide receiver room I'm super happy with, but unfortunately I haven't done much lately. Freaking George Pickens, Rashee Rice, and Jamar Chase. Like, that's
you're on a little bit of a skid here at the end of the year because you were up there with all of us at the 1 seeds.
I was. But hey, playoffs. New animal, new season. Here we go. But yeah, obviously we ran a little bit long with the NFL thing, catching up with 2 weeks. Just a little bit. We literally said that we wanted to make this episode an hour 15. It's an hour 11 now. Actually, it's an hour 15 if you had the intro. So bada bing, bada boom. But we got some college football to get to. Obviously, some major news. We'll
2-hour pod. Here we come.
We'll fly through that, end with some soccer, and then we'll get you out of here. So stay tuned for all that.
Alrighty, even though the NFL portion of the podcast went extremely long, we're still going to talk about a little college ball just because we can't not. I mean, rivalry weekend, come on, everybody.
Have to.
So we're going to start out with the biggest game of the weekend, the game, as they like to call it, Ohio State, Michigan. Yeah, the rest of the country just loves to tune in for this one, even though they don't have a dog in the fight. Michigan winning 4 years in a row, which is pretty crazy. Coming on with a pretty good streak going on. But Ohio State imposing their will, really doing what they should have done last year to Michigan.
Right.
Falling behind a little bit early with an early pick by Julian Sand, but then just kind of settling in and imposing their will and showing why they're the number 1 team in the country. As you boys, you watch this game?
I didn't know. I did not have this game on. Yeah, I know. I'm notorious for not missing games, obviously. But I was score watching because I was like, maybe Michigan does a little something. But Ohio State has just been by far the best team. Like, it's been like everybody else, and then Ohio State at the top. They got NFL players all over the place. little side note, Sayan's not going to do well in the freaking NFL. He's too small. But, like, I have this thing. Ohio
Interesting.
State quarterbacks, even Stroud this year has not played well. But Ohio State
He's
quarterbacks,
been hurt.
they're
But yeah.
always loaded at wide receiver and everywhere else that it makes them look good.
Yep.
Like, just look at Justin Fields. Dude looked like an absolute monster at Ohio State. But, like,
Yeah.
can't touch. I mean, he plays.
He
for
had
the
a lot
Jets,
of doubters coming out that he was not going to do.
Yeah.
You know, crazy
But anyways,
things.
that's a little side note. I don't think Julian Sands going to have a good NFL career. Prove me wrong, though. Ohio State obviously handling Michigan. Finally breaking that win streak that Michigan had. But if any year it was going to happen, it was going to be this year with Ohio State playing as well as they have. And their defense holding them to 9 points. Michigan hasn't been a slouch this year. So,
yeah, Matt Patricia coming in and leading that defensive squad.
Boy.
Yeah, defensive guy. But yeah, impressive stuff from Ohio. I only watched the second half, actually. We had a church flag football game that morning that kind of bled into the game a little bit. So that was
awesome.
An absolute blast. It was cold too. It was so much fun. So only able to see the second half here, but people were kind of scored watching a little bit on the sideline as we were still playing, and everybody was kind of, because there's lots of Michigan fans everywhere, but like when they threw that pick, all the Michigan fans were going, I was like, oh, it's happening again, whatever. But then Ohio State, like I said, kind of settled in there. Like saying, like you said, I don't think he's like, you know, the best thing in the world or anything like that, but he came in with a lot of question marks, I guess, like if he was actually that good. You know, Cali boy coming into a cold weather game, like it snowed, which I loved. And a lot of people were coming in doubting him and obviously throwing that pick, but the way that he responded after that and was still able to perform really well, a couple of good deep balls to Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate was really impressive. So I like the way that he responded after that, and really leaning on that defense and his weapons to carry him home after that. But I loved the just the sideshows that was going on in this game, like the craziness that was going on, like with did you hear about the communications issue that Ohio State sideline was having?
No.
Bro, you missed so much with this game.
I did. What was this, Saturday?
Saturday at noon, yeah. So
I wasn't doing
so there was obviously a lot of allegations of cheating and everything, and apparently Ohio State's communications on only their sideline went down for like an extended period of time. So there's a lot of stuff going on with that. Ryan Day was asked about it later, and they're like, yeah, we actually had something prepared in case that happened, just because we thought something might happen, so we had like ready to go or whatever.
Right.
So that was kind of funny. Did you see the Brutus marking in the snow, like writing in cursive Ohio and then putting an X on the Michigan logo in the end zone? Did you see that?
No, I
Bro,
didn't.
that was legendary. And then like after the game, like we had the whole like planting of the flag last year for Michigan, and the fact that they like got their what's handed to them, and they went to the middle to like guard the logo. And then Ohio State was just like, yeah, we don't even care about that. We're just going to go celebrate for their fans. It's turned into like, there's a lot of like really cool pictures of like Michigan having to like watch them celebrate with their fans. It's just, it was, what a wild game. So
dang.
Where do you fall like on that rivalry? Like, do you lean more Michigan? Do you lean more Ohio State? Like, what's your preference if you had one?
I mean, I would probably root a little bit more for Michigan, to be honest. I don't know. Ohio State's one of those teams that's like, I don't know. You don't like them if you're not a fan of them. Kind of thing.
And they're always good. They're always
like that's the thing. Like again, like back to the Chiefs and Patriots. Like if you win too much, like frig off. We hate you. Like then you got Michigan, who had struggled for so long, finally get a natty with Harbaugh. And, obviously they haven't won enough for people to hate them. Maybe back in the day, but like Ohio State's just
they have
always
plenty
a
of haters, I think.
Oh, that the whole But obviously I didn't watch this game. I did watch the Texas A&M game though. Had that on because that was the later game. Good game though.
Yeah, my thing with that rivalry is like, when I was in college, bro, like that was in the midst of like Ohio State winning like 8 or 9 in a row or something crazy. Yeah. And the Michigan fans would always talk like they were going to win it. And every year they would lose. So I would just get like they would get so toxic. I'm like, you guys are just gonna get destroyed anyway. And every year they would until like my senior year, and they finally broke the streak or whatever.
Right.
And then they had like that huge scandal. It was like they sucked before that. They cheated, won a natty, and now they suck again. Like, what's going on with that? So like,
Yeah.
just whatever. But
Yeah.
anyway, great
Kind of
game.
looks like they
Really,
did cheat, but anyways.
yeah, that's what I'm
Aren't you
saying.
on
So
that side of the fence? You think they cheated,
I
right?
am. Yeah.
Yeah, you
At
you
this
don't like
point, it's
them for
not
that.
even a question. It's just if you think that they should have been, like, if you think that what they did qualifies as
As
quote
cheating. Oh,
unquote cheating.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
I mean, you just have to watch JJ McCarthy in the NFL to know that they cheated.
exactly,
So,
dude.
I
The
mean,
meme. We didn't even talk about this, but the
so
memes,
many
bro, of
memes.
that man these
So
last
many
few
memes.
weeks,
Yeah.
so bad. Like it's so
Kind
funny.
of feel bad for him, but at the same time, like, I don't. Just
Yeah, I don't
be
at
better.
all.
Be better.
There's memes of like everybody's making fun of like his nickname Nine and just how bad he is.
Yeah.
And then there's just like the memes of like, oh, it's not so easy when you don't know the other team's playbook or whatever. Just like that kind of stuff, which is really funny.
Took a
But
look at
anyway,
the playbook day one, was like, so we don't have the other teams in here? All right, cool.
it's like, oh man, what do I do now? I can't
Yeah.
have the ball off 30 times a game.
I'll go blow up my ACL real quick. See you guys.
Yeah, he's hurt
We'll
like
start
every
over the
2 weeks. I'm like, bro, come on.
who'd they roll out this past
Funny.
week? Bosmer or something like that?
Yeah,
Friggin-
bro, did you see the pick that he threw?
Oh no, I didn't.
First
but
of
I
all, he
can
had
only
4
imagine.
picks, which is terrible. But like he was getting sacked and like halfway like going to the ground, he just like chucks the ball like sideways, gets picked, immediate pick six. I'm like, dude, you gotta go watch that if you want some good entertainment. But yeah,
I'm gonna
Vikings
have
are
to.
terrible. But
Really
anyways,
bad.
moving on to a game that you
Texas
did
A&M?
watch.
Yeah.
Texas and A&M. A&M coming in
Huge.
undefeated, number 3 team in the country. Texas trying to get into the playoff with what little chances they have left. Get the dub. Arch Manning and company getting a massive, massive win in a really, really exciting game here.
Yeah, I'm on the side of the fence that I think Texas should get in. Just looking at like schedules and stuff, man.
Yeah.
They have 2 losses. The 2 losses, the one that everyone keeps
3.
pointing to is freaking Florida. They have 3 losses. Who's their
think
third
so.
loss?
Florida, Ohio State, and maybe they do on the.
It's only 2,
losses. I thought. Oh, Georgia! They got destroyed by Georgia.
Okay. Okay. That so they have 3 losses, but the Ohio State one, number 1 team in the country, that's held up.
By a tud.
By a touchdown, and held them to 14 points. Good loss. Their only quote unquote bad loss, Florida, who hasn't looked great all season, still an SEC team. Okay, you lost, tough game. And then Georgia, who obviously blew them out, but still, it's freaking Georgia. Like, so I say Ohio State, Georgia, good losses. Florida, 1 bad loss in the SEC. Other than that, and then you beat the number 3 team this past weekend by 10. Like, I would say they got to go in. I would have to look at some other resumes, but I was looking at some quick ones on Instagram. Like they do the post with like, you know, the 10-2 or 10-3 teams or whatever it is, and who should get in. And I think Texas should definitely get in for sure. But that's the opinion I have. I did watch this game. Arch is playing a lot better as well. So if the committee wants to look at that and be like,
he just needed a little time.
We're not throwing a bad team in there, obviously. So Texas looked like a good team. Kind of holding up your national championship pick. You know, you had Georgia winning the SEC, and then Texas winning it all.
If we sneak in,
maybe,
not we, but you
Texas
know what I mean.
fan now, huh? Okay.
No,
you like those orange teams?
Yeah, for whatever reason, I tend to, sympathize with them. But I am of the opinion that they should get in as well.
Good.
I don't think that they should be penalized for scheduling tough non-conference games and like scheduling the defending champ like week 1. Like that's that they shouldn't be torn down for that, and losing by only a touchdown, and they look terrible in that game. So yeah, I don't think they should be penalized for that. And like people want to like nitpick at like winning at Kentucky by 3, at Mississippi State by a touchdown, Vanderbilt by 3, but like those are like solid. I mean, they're still SEC wins. Vandy
Yeah.
was ranked 9 when they beat them. Oklahoma was ranked 6th when they beat them.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously now they have the Texas A&M win when they're ranked number 3. And I'm not going to count the Georgia loss. Like the 25 points looks bad, but again, they're a top 5 team. They're in the
Mm-hmm.
SEC championship. Like they're going to be there at the end as well. So like 2 of their losses are against top 5
Yeah.
teams, that's fine in my book. So like Florida
Absolutely.
loss, that's that's bad. That's a bad loss if you want to count that as a bad loss in the SEC. But
Yep.
I would still absolutely put them in as well. And to get that dub, I mean, they say that there's not a better rivalry in college football in Texas than A&M in Texas. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's big time bragging rights in and of themselves, but huge implications as far as the playoff is concerned as well. And that knocked A&M out of the SEC championship game. So,
Yep.
um,
Mm-hmm.
got Bama and Georgia in there now. But yeah, impressive stuff by the Longhorns here late on. A&M not being, a lot of people question A&M's schedule. Not like obviously they came in at 11-0, but
Mm-hmm.
not quite the gauntlet you'd want to see. They've only played 2 or 3 ranked teams. LSU and Missouri were ranked in the 20s when they beat them, and they
Yeah.
played Notre Dame and won by 1 point. And the rest of
Mm-hmm.
the teams that they played were kind of the bottom feeders of the SEC: Auburn, Mississippi State, Florida, Arkansas, South Carolina. Like
Yep.
Texas was the only real SEC team that they played, and they lost. So, um, but yeah, so we'll see where the committee put them. That'll be super interesting. Next SEC game, we'll talk about Vandy, Tennessee. Tennessee's owned Vandy for basically the entire existence of this rivalry, but Vandy moving a little bit different now. Diego Pavia in the mix.
Yeah.
They destroyed Tennessee, bro. 20 plus point dub
Dang.
here for Diego Pavia and company. Do you think this catapults him into the Heisman? And what do you guys say about Vandy being relevant for like what feels like the first time in 100 years?
I mean, if you're gonna strictly do it, like the Heisman is basically the MVP of college football, so most valuable player, and
Right.
Pavia is the reason that Vandy is this good. And by the way, Vandy just flipped the number 1 QB recruit from Georgia today, so they're moving on from
Saw that,
Pavia
dude.
and slotting in the number 1 QB in the country coming up here next season. But I don't know about Heisman, but Vandy's another one of those teams. Like, unfortunately, I don't think they're going to get in, and obviously they lost to Texas. So, like, you start connecting the dots
Yeah.
with head to head. So, like, I think Vandy's going to miss out. But a great season, destroying Tennessee. They beat who else did they beat? They beat they beat Alabama, right? Or did they lose to Alabama?
They
They had
lost to
another signet.
Alabama. They beat Alabama last year, but they won against number
Yeah,
10, who was number 10 at the time, LSU. They beat
yeah,
Missouri, who was ranked in top 15.
that's right. Yeah,
Ranked
so
they beat South Carolina when they were ranked high at the beginning of the year, and then now they've beaten Tennessee. So some good wins on there for sure.
yeah, they definitely had a few good signature wins, but unfortunately, probably going to be a little short of making the college football playoffs this season.
Who
Unfortunately,
who would you put like if it came down to Vandy versus Texas? Like Texas comes in with 3 losses, but Vandy comes in with 2. So like what are we thinking there if you had to pick between Texas and Vandy?
I mean, I'm a big head-to-head guy. Like, I mean, they played head-to-head, so like you just take the winner of that, and Texas won. So
Okay.
like, I mean, in my mind, that's just like if you're trying to pick between 2 teams, the best
Mhm.
way to pick is like the better
Yeah,
team out of the 2
I
head-to-head.
agree.
So that's just
I
how I
think it's
do it.
stupid when like for a long time they had Notre Dame above Miami, even though their resumes were basically identical. And Miami beat them. So it's like, what are we doing here? I
Right.
just think like, why do you play the games if they're not going to matter? So I tend to agree with you as far as that's concerned. And then lastly here, I guess not lastly, but like going back to the Diego Pavia of it all, like, do you think he wins the Heisman? Would you give it to him? You
Uh,
got Fernando Mendoza in there, Julian Sand for Ohio State. Um, I think Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame is getting some love. So who would you give it to if you had to pick?
I think
Simpson from Alabama has been getting some attention.
yeah. I think Pavia is not gonna get it just because like the media is gonna push like success over, and they've had a good season, but if they miss the playoff, they're gonna go to a guy like Mendoza who has their team, ranked second in the nation, playing
Hmm.
Ohio State in the the Big Ten championship game on
Yeah.
Saturday. Like they're gonna go for a guy like that that's just gotten their team a little bit further than Vandy has, even though Vandy plays in the SEC, which holds weight. But
Yeah,
yeah, they're gonna look
absolutely.
at success for sure.
Yeah. I think this was the first time in their entire history that they've won 10 games, which is incredibly
Yeah,
impressive. I would give it to
crazy.
Pavia because kind of like what you were saying, like as far as like an MVP of college football, like I always think like if you were to take this player off of their teams, how well would they do? I still think Indiana does incredibly well with a different quarterback.
It's their
I
coach
think
at
that
Indiana. Yeah.
Ohio State absolutely does incredibly well without Julian Sayin.
Mm-hmm.
They've probably got another 4-star on their or 5-star on their bench that they can just throw in there.
Yep.
But Vanderbilt like is Diego Pavia, at least right now. Like you don't think about Vanderbilt without thinking of him. I think if you
Mm-hmm.
take him off this Vandy squad, that they're considerably worse than than with him. So
Yep.
I would give it to him, even though they might not make the playoff. They might not even go to like one of the top bowl games, but I think what he's done is impressive. So
Yep.
if Johnny
Yeah.
Manziel won
Absolutely.
it when he was on Texas A&M and they won like 8 or 9 games like
Right.
one year,
Right.
I think they can give it to him. Another
Yeah.
a few other rivalries that we want to touch on. Clemson beating South Carolina, big implications in our homes. Not yeah, home state, I guess. Technically, we live here, so it's our home. Um, Clemson beating South Carolina. South Carolina beating them last year, so good for Clemson to get one over on them boys down south.
Only good thing of the season.
Georgia surviving Tech, and I mean surviving
Yeah.
16-7, I want to say. Tech's been really good this year. So Georgia, a little bit of a test there, but ultimately getting the dub there. Gunnar Stockton putting up another big performance. Love that guy. OU beating LSU, not necessarily a big rivalry, but a big game. Props to OU for not scheduling a cupcake like the rest of the SEC teams around this time of the year.
Yep.
Them beating LSU, that was a pretty good game. And then Bama beating Auburn in the night slate on Saturday. What do you guys say about these few games here?
I mean, good for Clemson. Like the only good thing of their season, beating South Carolina. Whoop de doo. Good
It's
for you
seven to
guys.
five.
Are they making a bowl? I haven't been keeping up with that. They're gonna
Yeah,
make a
they'll
bowl
make a
game, right?
bowl, but it'll be
Wow.
some mayonnaise whatever bowl.
Literally, like some stupid, yeah,
John
whatever.
Deere
John Deere
mower bowl.
Classic Bowl, whatever. Yeah, and then yeah, Georgia Tech was good. That was actually a game I was interested in. Didn't get to watch,
I
but I was like,
predicted that, bro. Do you remember me at the beginning of the year saying Haynes King and company going to be a tough out and they're going to be good? I didn't think I'd be this good,
yeah.
but
I
they
mean,
surprised some people.
they're on the up and up. They're a program that like people are gonna want to go to because they've had success the past 2 or 3 years
Yeah,
now. So
yeah. In
obviously Georgia,
Atlanta, yeah.
yeah, Georgia is sneaking out with a win there. OU kind of just putting a button on their season. They're kind of on the outside looking in. Not much else they
No,
can
they'll make
do.
it. They're in eighth right now.
OU,
They'll
really?
be an at large, yeah, for sure.
They were on the outside. I think that was when the CFP first dropped that I saw.
Yeah, I mean they've been
Uh,
in the between 8 to 12 like basically the whole season, but they'll make it in as of right now.
The Bama Auburn game was good. I stayed up for most of that.
Yep.
Bama finding a way to beat Auburn, getting into that SEC championship game against
Crazy fourth quarter,
Georgia.
bro.
It was a crazy fourth quarter. That was a good game.
Mhm.
Bama's not the wagon they used to be, but they're still a good team and
Yeah.
obviously rebuilding under a new coach. But good
Yep.
games, good weekend. Got a big weekend coming up this coming week.
Yeah, Bama's still beating up on little brother. Before we get into conference championships and looking at that, we got a huge news coming out of Ole Miss.
Kiffin.
Lane Kiffin on the move after basically teasing every other SEC team that's looking for a coach. He finally makes his decision on Sunday to take the LSU job. Ole Miss is a playoff team, abandoning that team in the middle of the season to go to
Wild.
LSU.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane stuff. Your reaction, sir?
There's no loyalty in sports anymore. There
Mm,
really isn't. And I know Ole Miss was always a stepping stone for him to get a bigger job.
yeah,
And if you believe him at his word, like he wanted to stay and play for the like not play, stay and coach them in the playoff. Obviously Ole Miss having a good season, 11-win season for the first time in a long time or forever. I can't remember the actual stat on that.
yeah,
But yeah, just kind of, you know, and staying in the SEC too, like saying like this is the bigger, better job. I'm doing this. obviously getting offered a ton of money to do it. But I mean, you can't blame a guy for taking money and going to the quote unquote better school. But I think in the NIL era, I don't think these jobs are as appealing as, again, I'm not a coach, I don't know, but I just feel like you go to the school for the name, but it doesn't really get you any more resources because if you're an SEC school now, everyone can pay players, everybody's got money, so, like, it really levels the playing field at this. I mean,
Well,
talking about Vanderbilt being good this year, like,
mhm.
point proven.
Well, that's exactly what I thought when I was hearing all this stuff about Lane Kiffin. Because, like, basically, when you're talking SEC schools, and like I actually confirmed this, but like, there's basically no difference in money slash NIL across like Ole Miss, Florida, LSU. Like, they were all offering basically the same package. So I was like, why would like he's made Ole Miss like Ole Miss was kind of like the second rung in the SEC, but he's made them into being like that first rung. And like obviously he
Yeah.
has them in the playoffs. He's
Mhm.
been there for several years. He's built them into kind of the powerhouse that they are now. They're producing NFL talent with Jackson Dart and receivers and stuff like that. So I felt like any move that he would have made in the SEC was going to be a lateral move, like whether he goes to Florida or like, if anything, maybe a step down. I was like really confused as to why he would want to go somewhere else, especially in the
Right.
situation that he's had at Ole Miss. But I guess if there was a spot that was open that had a little bit more pedigree, it was LSU. With just like the recent coaches that they've had, except for Brian Kelly, every coach that they've had since like 2000s won a national title. So they've got all kinds of national titles. They've all got all kinds of, history and rivalry and stuff like that. Maybe a little bit more than Ole Miss, and maybe that was like eventually the tipping point, I guess, into making that decision. So, but definitely a little surprising. Like I don't know, if I was him, I feel like I'd want to stay at Ole Miss because you've
Yeah.
made that program into what it is now, and you're definitely in that top rung with the rest of the SEC. And you're a better team than LSU, but
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Like
Uh,
I don't blame like the loyalty thing as much. Like at first I did, I
mhm.
was like, wow, he's really just gonna quit on his team like this. But then like listening to Josh Pate and some of these other guys they're talking about, it's like the calendar is so screwed up in college
Yeah.
football. Like from the portal to the college, like moving around of coaches to like the spring stuff that goes on to like the playoff dates and everything. Like it just makes everything so incredibly convoluted and like it's like the fact that people were letting their coaches go like back in October, like they basically
Yeah.
had to do that. Like if they were gonna do it at the end of the season, they had to let them go early because like there's some kind of I don't remember exactly what, but I think at the beginning of the playoff there's like some kind of thing that shuts. So like they had to like fire these
Mm,
guys early if they were gonna do it at the end of the season to start their
gotcha.
coaching search to be able to hire
Uh,
guys now, which completely screws over everybody else who's like actually made the playoff and bowl games and stuff because like
mhm.
then you're poaching coaches.
Right.
So like Oklahoma State just hired their coach, and it's the guy that's has North Texas possibly in a playoff position. So like if
Mm,
they make the playoffs, they're rolling in without their coach. It's so
yeah.
stupid. And then like that doesn't even begin to scratch the surface on like the portal and like all the people that are moving around in January, February before the spring. And then like you also have to like enroll people in school, and it's
Yep.
just like, bro, this
It's
is not.
mayhem.
It's insane. It's just and it's all the NCAA's fault for letting it get to this point. Not just being stubborn in the last 20 years, but now that they've like actually allowed an IL, it's just the Wild West and anything goes, which is the opposite of what we need. But
Yep.
couple conference championship games to preview here: Bama, Georgia, Ohio State, Indiana, BYU, Texas Tech. Quickly, who you got in these?
Oh, okay. SEC, Alabama. I just think Alabama has Georgia's number. I'm gonna take Alabama, even though Georgia looks like the better team. They're also ranked higher, but Alabama beat them earlier in the season too, right? If I'm
Yep.
getting that
Yep.
right. So, give me Alabama. Not gonna bet against Ohio State, even though I don't like them. I just think it's gonna be a little too much for Indiana, but I think it's gonna be a really, really good game. But that
Yeah.
defense it's literally NFL level at this point. So. And then obviously thrown in there, don't keep a huge watch on the Big 12, but I think Texas Tech beats BYU again. I think they're just the better team. Even though BYU is a good football team, Texas Tech gets it done. How about you?
Yeah, Georgia, Alabama. I got Georgia.
Okay.
I don't think that
Holding strong.
Bama's gonna beat them twice in a season. I think Georgia learns from their mistakes. Basically, playing a home game in Atlanta, I give them the slight edge. I think they are gonna get the dub in this one and bring the SEC championship back to Georgia. Indiana, Ohio State. I got Ohio State. Kind of similar to what you were saying. I think it's gonna be a tight game.
Mhm.
But I think Ohio State ultimately prevails in the end. It's crazy that this is 1v2 and not a lot of people are hyping this
I
game up
know.
to be, and it's a
Yeah,
conference championship game too. Like,
game
that's
day's not even
wild.
going there. They're going to Alabama, Georgia
Of course they
instead.
are. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
it's so stupid. Dude, 1 and 2 playing in a freaking championship game.
I
What
know.
are we doing?
Right.
Like,
It's crazy that that game's basically meaningless for the playoff too, because like they're both probably going to get buys in the playoff,
yeah.
like regardless of that game ending. But yeah, it's just crazy. But I got Ohio State in that by a slight margin. Last one here: Texas Tech and BYU, number 4 versus number 11 as it currently stands. Still super weird to see BYU in the Big 12. Like, it's just,
Mhm.
especially in a conference game. Like, as an Oklahoma State fan who's been in the Big 12 his whole life, like, just like, what is BYU doing in this conference? But obviously they're doing
Right.
well. I do have Texas Tech winning this game, though. I just think that they've been more consistent over this year. Obviously, not a ton of like marquee wins being in the Big 12. They did beat BYU already this year. And I think they'll do so once again, and possibly you'll knock BYU out of the playoffs. So that's a loss that a couple of
Yeah.
those teams like Texas or Vanderbilt could use. But then the question of like, are you going to penalize a team for playing the conference championship? Yes or no? I don't know. Whatever.
Right.
We'll leave that to the committee. Hopping over the pond for a little football. We had some spicy games these last couple weeks here. A little Prem Talk, a little Serie A, a little La Liga, and then Champions League, the spiciest of them all this past week or so around Thanksgiving with some really, really good games, which I love them being Thanksgiving week because I can actually watch them without taking time off work. First one we'll talk about, though, is Chelsea Arsenal playing this past week in the Premier League. 1
Not
versus 2, as it actually turned out to be, with Chelsea coming in at the number 2 spot. Weren't holding on to it for too long, though, as they draw and Man City pipped them to get second place back. But what'd you think about your Blues here? Coming in with a very, very strong performance against the top of the table side and squeaking out a 1-1 draw, despite your
I'm
red card, too.
dude, I was seeing it was like our 7th red card in the past like 10 games or something like that.
Yeah.
Like legitimately
Undisciplined, bro.
like super, super bad. Just shows how young we are. But that wasn't even our youngest player that did it. So whatever. Arsenal, very, very
Caicedo's
good
supposed to be a
squad.
leader.
Supposed to be. Dude, we don't have a true leader. I've been saying this the whole time. This is why we're
Mhm.
so freaking bad. Well, not
Yep.
even that bad, but this is why we're not as good as we could possibly be.
Yep.
Once again, turning up against a good side, obviously number 1 in the Premier League, number 1 in the Champions League. So, of
Yeah.
course, we gave our best to a 1-1 draw. So, good result for us. Would have liked to get a win, but I just think you guys look so good with the additions that you made in the offseason. You know, whenever people are hurt in the midfield, up top, even in your defense, you have someone that can fill a hole for the time being and play at a decent level to get you guys through. So, really, really good result for us. Obviously, probably you guys would have hoped for more and probably
Yeah.
deserved more, but good outing for Chelsea at the end of the day.
Yeah, I definitely dropped points here, grand scheme of things and everything. But you guys actually get a red card pretty early with Moises Caicedo. And then 10 minutes later, you guys get the lead, giving us a little bit of taste of our own medicine off a corner, kind of crowding the keeper a bit. Uh, I think Chalaba was really trying to knock that ball on, but ends up going in the net. So pretty solid goal there. Mark Cucurella, I cannot believe we did not get him sent off. He got a yellow in like the 10th minute, and going up against Saka, I was like, for sure he's going to do something.
Right.
Couple questionable, tackles and everything, but ultimately not enough for the double yellow there. I thought for sure one of our guys was going to get a red because we had like 5 players on yellows by the end of the game. We weren't playing with Gabriel or Saliba in the back, so still a pretty good outing by our defense there. Like you said, grand scheme of things, probably drop points for us, but when you're going against the second place team and you get a draw, I'll take that every day of the week. And we are getting a little bit healthier. We're getting Odegaard back into some regular game time, and then Victor Gyökeres coming off with coming back after a little bit of a muscle injury, with keeping him out the last couple games we had. So not all is lost. I'll take a 1-1 draw. But definitely would have loved to see a little bit more after that red card. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that eventually plays into everything. The game before, I'll touch on really quickly. Arsenal destroying Tottenham, our biggest rivals, and the game before 4-1. Tottenham are really no match for us in this game. Absolutely love to see us beat up on little brother there. I won't mention too much into what went on in that game because that was kind of old news at this point. That was, I think, the weekend before Thanksgiving. So, like I said, old news, but absolutely dominated them. I think we had like more than 60% possession, tons of shots. So we're definitely rolling against Lil Bro over there. So
Yes,
moving on, Man City making up the pace.
Man
There, number
City.
2. I told you off pod, but I feel like this is just kind of where Pep decides he's not going to lose again the
Yep.
rest of the campaign. So very, very dangerous. They're right on our heels, 2 points below us, even though we have a game in hand, right above Chelsea now. So they're making up the pace, and then Liverpool finally getting back to winning ways with a 2-0 West Ham victory over this past weekend, but they're sitting all the way in 8th under Manchester United. So a lot of hate for Man U in
Uh-oh.
recent years, and now the defending champs are under them. So what do you got to say about the title contenders here in Man City and Liverpool? A little bit farther down the table, Man City making up pace, like I said, and Chelsea in 3rd.
Yeah, surprised that Liverpool dropped this far. Obviously, they had that skid. I thought they
So
would do
many
better.
games.
I thought they were gonna do better this season with the players that they got in. But obviously that's not to be. Manchester United doing a lot better this season.
Yeah.
But I totally agree with the Manchester City take. Like I feel like they hit Christmas and
Dangerous, man.
they just go, all right, we're done messing around. Let's just figure it out, and they just rattle off wins.
Yeah,
But I think Arsenal is going to be formidable this season.
I think so
Chelsea's
too.
up there once again, but it's you know we could be dropping games to literally Brentford and Fulham and Leeds every other week.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it'll be
that's what makes me
interesting.
nervous as an Arsenal fan, seeing them like fire up the table because like we literally can't afford to, like, drop points here and there, like, we literally have to win every game to, like, keep pace almost, and obviously we have the squad for it now. I think we're in a lot better position than we have been in years past, but it just makes me nervous, man, when I see Man City right there just nipping at our heels and just knowing what they're
Right.
capable of. Even though their squad wouldn't scream, wagon of years past, they still got Pep over there, just a psycho, so we'll see how,
That's
these
true.
next several weeks go. Um, Moving over to Italy, not much to
Serie
say
A.
here. Very, very interesting title race here. The top 5 are separated by no more
It's
than
what you
3
want.
points, which is
Yeah.
absolutely what you want. And not only that, but like they're the top 5 teams that you would want in there. So you got
Yeah.
Inter Milan, AC Milan, Roma, Napoli, and then Juventus as well, all in the hunt there. So absolutely love to see
Mhm.
that. Only game we'll touch on here is a game again that happened quite a bit ago, November 23rd on a Sunday, the Milan derby.
Let's go.
Absolutely love this OG derby here. The stuff that we've seen in years past, the level of players that we've seen,
Mhm.
absolutely incredible. But an American has kind of put his what do you say? Put his mark on this derby with a 1-0 AC Milan win, with him getting the only goal here. What do you got
Once
to say about
again.
our boy?
I
Coming
mean,
in clutch in the derby.
2 years running, Pulisic winning it for AC Milan. He had the
Mm.
game winner last season as well.
Did he? I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was kind of
Okay.
his that was kind of his like first step into like us being like, all right, he's actually playing well. Cause like I've been saying on the podcast, we were waiting to see him actually do it against decent sides. And that was the first time that he actually like took the game over and was like, okay, last year's goal was better than this one. This one was a bit poachy, just kind of
Yeah, I
being in
did
the
see that.
right place, right time. But I mean, as a player, that's kind of what you have to do. But
Yep.
um, I think we're to the point where it's like Pulisic. He is a big part of Milan's team. Obviously, when he's healthy, he's always playing. He's always in the starting side, and he makes an impact in the well, they're not in the Champions League, but obviously in Serie A this season. in all their competitions. He's making an impact. So good to see him playing well. Hopefully he carries that into this summer because we really need that as a nation. But good for him playing well in Italy.
Yeah, and it's good to see AC Milan doing well because they got rid of a lot of players, and without Europe, we were kind of like, all right, just focus all on Serie A, and it's good to see, all that focus kind of paying off as well because it would have been a really bad look if they got rid of all their players, no Champions League ball, you can focus on the Serie A, and they were like mid-table or something. So
Yep.
good to see them up there with the big boys, and Inter Milan's impressive win for sure against my Romanian brother over there. Leading the Inter Milan boys, but
Yep.
moving on to La Liga in Spain. Madrid kind of been the top of the table for several weeks in a row here now. Couple draws by Madrid against Girona and also against Elche back to back. Kind of opened the door for a little bit of movement there at the top of the table. Barcelona coming in against Atletico Madrid today actually was that game. Atletico Madrid getting an early goal there, but in typical Atletico Madrid fashion, kind of surrender the lead and it's kind of GG's from there. I can't tell you how many times I see Atletico take the lead 1-0. They like park the bus,
Yeah.
close up shop, and they concede like 2 or 3 goals and they never score again.
It's
So
always an early goal that shoots him in the
always,
foot,
bro. But Barca with a pretty impressive win here against the third place team to catapult them up the table here.
Yeah, I mean, Barca kind of adding to that lead a little bit. I mean, it's only 4 points, but anything above 3 points makes you feel kind of safe, but not really. In La Liga, when Real Madrid's breathing down your neck, it's kind of just that. It's La Liga, man. It's going to be Barcelona, or Real Madrid, and just who doesn't drop more like of the odd game here or there to a team that you really shouldn't lose to. And then obviously the head-to-heads always make a huge difference, for sure in La Liga. But good to see Barcelona flying. I'm just happy that they're doing better than like in recent years. There was like a lull there, like right after Messi left.
They weren't competitive.
Obviously, with they missed the Champions League. They were out early. This that, and the other. Didn't win the league. Their financial state was it was abysmal. Obviously, it's still not like all that good right now, but it's better than it was. So just happy to see
Speaking of which,
yeah.
I heard like they're dumping like billions of dollars into their stadium or whatever. I saw pictures, like it's almost done apparently, and I was looking at it. I was like, what have they done?
Yeah, I think they literally just made it bigger. I think that's it.
The seats are new, and there's like maybe one little sliver of like a like a what do you call it? Just like an extra section there or whatever. But I'm like, you spent $1 billion to like get nicer colored seats and put the Spotify logo on the stadium.
Right.
Like, come on, bro. Like with Madrid, like, they put in that super high tech like field thing.
Yeah.
And then they like put a dome on it and then like all this just crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they did not. They did a whole lot. I mean, they did not a lot with a whole lot of money. So
yeah, that's what I was saying.
Maybe it was all just like a tax thing. They're just like, oh yeah, we're paying for our stadium. And instead, they're just like throwing money elsewhere. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
and this is super off the beaten path. But I promise I'll only take a second. Did you see the Messi Instagram post of him going back to Barca?
Everyone was freaking
He's getting people riled up, dude.
Oh, my word. All the reports coming out like, oh, he's gonna pull a Beckham and go back to Europe just before the World Cup, and I'm just like,
on a loan or something.
No, he's not. He's freaking old. He's gonna rest up as much as he can before the World Cup, so his legs will hopefully drag him through the last World Cup that he'll play.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I was told he has nothing enough to prove, so I wouldn't be going on any loans. So
I don't know, but I mean, I would love to see him back in a Barca jersey, but at the same time, bro, like imagine you get hurt right before the World Cup, like don't do that.
Yeah, he does not need to be doing that at all. Like he does, like again. I was told he had nothing else to prove, so the fact that he would need to go over there and prep for a World Cup would be stupid.
Win the rigged MLS Cup and then take a vacation till the summer. Just go do it.
I did love like all the editing of people like editing the Messi pictures into like
Yeah.
either their own stadium or into memes or whatever. I love
Right.
those, dude. Internet's
Uh,
great.
what are we
Internet's great.
doing? What are we doing?
Speaking of Barca, though, not as successful in the Champions League here. It's a great segue into the Champions League here. A couple games we'll look at before getting you out of here on a
The
very, very
Fez
long
match.
pod. Yeah, the Fez match, Chelsea-Barca. Chelsea coming away with a very comfortable 3-0 victory over Barcelona. Was watching this with my boy at work who's a huge Chelsea fan. He was making fun of Barca the whole game just because of their high line and their
Dude,
basically
every
just
time.
their dedication to the high line. Like they concede the goal early, they get a red, still playing a high line. Where they got two guys back there
Yep.
playing a high line. Esteval getting him a nice little goal. Liam Delap, who hasn't scored all season, getting a goal. So
Yep.
just giving them the belt here in this game.
Dude, absolutely thrashing them. And again, like I'm a winner no matter what happens, but it is unfortunate to see what we've been talking about this whole time with Barcelona. Like if we just abandon the high, I don't even care if you play at the beginning of the game and get a lead. Like, I don't know, park the bus just a little bit. Like this is why teams are allowed to like get
It's
back
like
in the
Dan
game.
Campbell, bro.
It is. That's like a perfect comp, like an NFL to soccer comp. Like
Yeah.
why are we going for fourth downs when we could kick a field goal and win the game? Like, yeah, sure, it's not as impressive, but a win's a win. Instead we're getting thrashed by Chelsea 3-0, which again, I won either way, but it just shows how vulnerable Barca can be because
But you're
I mean
more of a
Chelsea's
Chelsea
good, but
guy now, right? That's what
yeah,
I've
definitely. I was definitely
okay.
more of a Messi guy when they were there, but
Yeah.
obviously couldn't be a bandwagoner, so I had to like I'm not wearing Miami jerseys right now,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm definitely more of a Chelsea
Don't look
guy.
like a
So
flamingo.
definitely if I had to choose a team to win, I would want to see Chelsea do
Good.
well in this
Good.
game.
Yeah, I think Esteval is really really exciting to watch. So
Yeah.
I like watching. He's going to be really good. He's only 18, so he might be better
Mad-
than Lamine Yamal. But
yeah. Madrid was touch and go there. Oh, sorry.
speaking of which, Lamine Yamal, bro, like I saw a meme where it's like basically every solid left back that he's faced in the last like 6 months, he's been an absolute no-show, whether it be against Madrid, PSG, Portugal, Chelsea with Cucurella, if you can consider him like, elite left back or whatever. But Cucurella had him in his back pocket. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, maybe a little bit too much
One
hype
trick
too
pony.
early.
One
But
trick pony.
yeah, Madrid playing Olympiacos. Not much to say in this one except the fact that Madrid going down early in this one got some people nervous. But just as soon as you can be like, oh, Madrid's losing, they score like 3 goals in like super quick succession. Yeah. Mbappe scored the second fastest hat trick in Champions League history, scoring 3 goals between the minutes of 22 and 29. So 7-minute hat trick there to just kind of put Madrid back in control there. Olympiacos get a late goal, but Madrid scored another one.
Not
so
enough. Not enough.
Yeah, not quite enough. Mbappe's having a really, really impressive season. He had all 4 goals actually for Madrid. So
Dang.
incredibly impressive stuff from Mbappe and Madrid in the Champions League. Liverpool getting destroyed by PSV. This is right before their victory in the Premier League. Yeah, what the heck are we doing? Liverpool, I added on to their I think it was 6 losses in 7 games or something in all comps. Just really crazy stuff. They've dominated this game as far as the stat sheet goes, but obviously couldn't do enough to put the ball in the back of the net. PSV, solid team, but not a team that you'd expect to blow out Liverpool by 3 goals here. So impressive stuff from them. Liverpool, I'm going to go back to Slot, just thinking that he was a little bit too big for his britches there. Just thinking that their victory from last season was all him, is because of him. In reality, he definitely inherited Klopp's team, and even though he spent all this money on new signings, money isn't always going to get you the results that you need, despite spending $200 million on 2 guys, and several more million on several other players. But yeah, anything to add about Liverpool's skid here? Before obviously they got a dub on the weekend, but not good look in the Champions League here.
No, again, just beating a dead horse here. Not sure what's going on with them. Thought they would do better after getting Slot some players that he wanted, but obviously did better last season. But
yeah, they're mid-table in the Champions League, but 24 out of 36 teams make it, so they're probably still going to go through there. So whatever. Arsenal Bayern 3-1. Pretty solid stuff there. Battle of two teams that a lot of people think are the best form in the Champions League here. What do you got to say about this game here?
Arsenal Bayern. Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, Arsenal Bayern 3-1. Battle of the top two teams in the entire European continent. Correct?
Yeah, I've kind of been singing your praises. This season, I think Arsenal is just like really, really good. Just the pieces they added under the pieces they already had, not really getting like huge names, but just adding players that can fit in. Bayern's one of those teams. They're just always good. They got really, really good players most of the time. So I wasn't super surprised by this, but I thought Bayern would at least have 2 goals on the day. But Arsenal's just that good, I think.
Yeah, I was not expecting Arsenal to do very well. Not that I wasn't expecting them to do very well, but I wasn't expecting them to win by 3-1 here. So I was very very surprised and impressed with our performance. Obviously, we still had our full strength squad before we had a couple injuries here before the weekend. So very good dub by us. I was a little nervous though when they got their first goal. So really solid stuff. Another game we'll touch on, Atleti and Inter. Atletico Madrid getting the 2-1 victory at the death. Absolutely crazy game there. And the last game we'll touch on is PSG and Tottenham. PSG coming away 5-3 victors after going down early and also playing with 10 men, showing them why they're the defending champs in the Champions League, beating a Tottenham, which I always love to see. Vitinha scoring incredible goals. He had at least 2 in this game. Bro, whenever
So
Neves, and I know I always talk about Neves and Vitinha being incredible and how much I love watching them. Anytime they score, it's just incredible goals. Outside the box, Neves is scoring like bicycle kicks and headers and stuff. Like, it's just absolutely crazy stuff. What do you got to say about the defending champs here before we get out of here?
I mean, they got a young squad that's going to be good for a long, long time. Obviously, they're showing it. Some teams are kind of starting to figure them out. I think they kind of took like, everybody off guard last season because they almost didn't make it out of the league phase of the Champions League, and then they ended up winning
to think about now how much a wagon they are.
They ended up putting it together. Tottenham's one of those teams that you really don't want to see. They're scrappy. They can figure it out with Thomas Frank obviously coaching them now. Not doing so hot in the Premier League anymore. Off of that hot start, but PSG is a wagon and obviously still one of the favorites to win the Champions League. But that was a fast, kind of a fast segment for soccer. Obviously, we ran long, but we appreciate you guys for sticking with us. But I think that's a pod, Sammy.
It is a pod.
All right, we appreciate you guys. I am freezing, so I'm going to get inside because I am out in my garage right now. But we would appreciate if you guys would check us out on all of our platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Like and subscribe here if you're watching. We'd really appreciate that. Help us out a lot. We will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.